Hello, hello, hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday. I almost said Thursday. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see you. What is up, music and user FSP and Dog a Myth? Good to see you, Dog, in the Mega Magikarp, in Elf, in the Tower Show. How is everyone doing today? We're playing some Modern. It's been a minute. Wait, am I not on screen? What did I click? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I clicked the wrong on OBS. See, there's all these different scenes. This is the one for just like recording my desktop. This is the one for Arena. This is one for Moto. I clicked the wrong one, but I'm back. Yeah, the chat should be there too. The one that I clicked has none of that stuff. That's the one I use for like recording gameplay on for the YouTube. Hey, so how is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone had an amazing weekend. Hey, what's up, Lucid? How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun today. We're playing some Modern. We've played a lot of Standard lately, and I saw this deck list, and this deck list is just so weird and wild in Venerated Rotpriesty. I figured we just had to try it. I have no idea if we're going to win with this deck. Hopefully we do some cool things with the deck. It is like Gruul Venerated Rotpriest Storm, I guess is what you would consider it. That has some really weird combos, really weird synergies, only 15 lands. That makes me very nervous. Although I guess our curve tops out at 2, so it's not like we need that many lands to do what we're trying to do. It should be very, very interesting. Actually kind of sick, but the kid going to King Dominoes and playing my Sliver Decking Commander. Ooh, that sounds fun. When Seth or the mods make a prediction, yeah, we still haven't done anything with channel points. It's still on the to-do list, which will happen one of these days. Yes, if you missed it, alongside all the normal YouTube stuff, how do we have 19 lands? Do we have an MDFC I'm missing? We don't have... Where's the rest of... Oh, I guess Traverse. Traverse is kind of a land. Although, hopefully that's finding combo pieces like Rotpriest or whatever. Yeah, if you missed it, tons of stuff on the normal YouTube. But we also did a special video on the Card Market YouTube. And at Card Market, I gotta say... I'm very impressed with Card Market. They make some really interesting, really good content. So check that out on their YouTube. Some cool stuff coming up on there. Winter Milan, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. Recovering from part 2 of a root canal. Ooh, I've never had to get a root canal. I had to get my wisdom teeth out, and that was brutal. The Panharmonicon question. Was I really wrong? I think the artist is wrong. I actually will stand by my answer. If you read what is it, like, go to Google. Go to Google. If you go to Google and type in, what is a Panharmonicon? Like, look, see, what is a Panharmonicon? I've researched this before. It's a mechanical orchestra. It's a music instrument. I think the artist drew it wrong. Like, I blame the artist. Like, that's... It's not me, it's the kids that are wrong. But it's a mechanical orchestra. It's a real thing. We have some new donations from Lucid with a $3 donation. I sold a bunch of my art prints at a farmer's market on Saturday. That was and congratulations, Lucid. That's super exciting. That makes you a professional artist now. Now you get to be concerned about AI taking your job now that you're a professional artist. That is awesome. Congratulations. And Magikarp with a donation for the cats, $35. Yes, I will get you your cats, Magikarp. It's coming. Hopefully everyone has had a great time. So anyway, let's do reminders and start playing some Magic, because I want to see how this deck's work, and we have a pretty interesting backup deck. I figured this deck, it might go pretty fast. Euro, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Hey, welcome to the stream, Deniable. Good to have you. This deck might go fast. So our backup is 5-color battle domain. I know. I keep trying to make battle decks work, but this deck looks cool. It's still main with Invasion of Alara, and you can flip it with Cyanid Rockos and like another really wild list. But we're starting with Rotpriest Storm. We're gonna see, can you storm off with Poison and Rotpriest? So Grim should have gotten multiple points for Seth knowing more than the artist. Exactly, he should have got double the points. Reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including a Swin of the Future. Yeah, I'm pretty good at answering Magic questions. I proved that. Oh, that's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Yeah, on the normal YouTube, yesterday, we played some budget mono graded standard. Tomorrow, we have a special against the odds video. There's some really fun stuff coming up. So keep it up on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Even get a free goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes and they'll hook you up. Lord of the Fire, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. And Jaguar, the hype train is running. Big scoops cheer for you as well. Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playmat, good way to support the stream and the channel and the site. Donations always appreciated, never required. $2 a mortgage or message read on stream. Maddie Matters, so many subs today. Thank you so much, everyone, for the 3rd month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. I stand by my Panharmonicon answer. What? So the way that video was recorded, I didn't actually hear the correct answer. I still think I'm right. I stand by it. Card market's wrong, Crim is wrong, the artist is wrong. I am the ultimate Panharmonicon authority. Whatever I say of Panharmonicon, I've played it more than anyone else, so actually, yeah, I don't know. How did I miss that one? And Maddie Madison and also Action Gnome, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. People are asking, is not including BTG in red-green deck sacrilege? I mean, what is BTE like? So BTE would increase storm count, so I guess that's good. The question would be like, what would you cut? What would you cut to add it to the deck? And that's where it becomes a little challenging. Like, what are you gonna take from the deck? I could see an argument for like excuse me, I could see an argument for like cutting Arcanist because it's kind of slow. Arcanist, I think gonna be a pretty good ring bearer, actually. I think this is the card I most want to make my ring bearer in Modern. So I could see an argument for cutting Arcanist. So what is the idea of this deck? We are playing Venerated Rotpriest Storm. You've probably seen Venerated Rotpriest in Standard. The janky, like, play it on turn 1, try to protect it, janky out deck. This is kind of the modern version of it, but it's much more interesting and much more explosive. So Venerated Rotpriest, when one of our creatures becomes the target of a spell, our opponent gets a poison counter. So the goal of our deck is, first, find Venerated Rotpriest. That is the card that makes all the magic happen. We can use Traverse Uvenwald if we fill our graveyard a bit to tutor it up for 1 mana. We have like baubles to get stuff in the graveyard. So once we get Rotpriest, how do we win the game with Rotpriest? The main answer is a Storm card in Ground Riff. Ground Riff, one of the forgotten Storm cards, but it's really perfect for a Venerated Rotpriest deck. It's a 1-mana sorcery that says target creature without flying can't block this turn, but Storm. So the idea is we can make our own creatures not block to target them a bunch of times with our Rotpriest out to hopefully just poison our opponent out of the game. There's also this really weird Spellskite combo where we can get Venerated Rotpriest, 2 Spellskites, cast a spell, keep using Spellskite's ability to like bounce the spell back and forth between the 2 Spellskites to get a bunch of Rotpriest triggers and win that way. We can also just Underworld Breach to recast our graveyard. Dreadhorde Arcanist can reuse like our Ground Riff from the graveyard. Grape Shot, I guess, is to target our own creatures. Maybe it's possible we actually burn our opponent out, but I think it's much more likely that we're gonna Grape Shot is like a 2-mana version of Ground Riff, target our own Rotpriest a bunch of times to hopefully poison our opponent out of the game. And that's essentially the plan. It's like, how can we count up to 10 poison counters? By targeting our own stuff with a Venerated Rotpriest out. That's the goal of the deck. I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm very curious to see how this is gonna work. Yeah, Rotpriest Storm time. Has anyone actually seen this deck in action? I have not played against this deck. I am not sure what to expect. Except for punts. There will probably be punts. So how was everyone's weekend? Anyone do anything sweet this weekend? Anything fun? Actually, is anyone going to the Magic Cons this coming weekend? If you go to Baltimore, make sure to stop by and say hello and maybe get in a game or whatever. The deck's broken. Oh, also worth mentioning about this deck, it's like almost budget. So it's cheap for Modern. The build we're playing is $350, which obviously is not like budget Magic cheap, but when you consider that Modern, 1,100, 1,000, 1,100, 900, 1200. Like, how expensive those decks are, it's actually pretty cheap for a modern deck, so that's good. And most of that, like almost half of the cost, not quite, but nearly half of the cost, is a playset of Wooded Foothills. So if you have Wooded Foothills, the deck is actually pretty cheap to put together. So not exactly budget, but also like pretty inexpensive for a modern deck. Went to Lake George. Ooh, I've never been to Lake George. That's in New York, isn't it? I feel like Lake George is in New York. I should probably know that as someone from New York. Yeah, modern is not a cheap format. I don't know about Jengatha in this deck either. This is one of those decks where I actually wonder, like, is it worth a sideboard slot? We're playing 15 lands. What are the odds we actually ever have enough mana to cast Jengatha? It seems like the odds are not super high. Ooh. Okay, let's think about this. So, we don't have a Rotpriest, but we can get an artifact in the graveyard. Instant in the graveyard. I guess we can... Yeah, I mean, I think we keep it, right? Like, we have an Arcanist. I wish we had a fetch land. A fetch land would be better. Do we keep this? Yeah, maybe our opponent will think we're Tron or something because we have Jengatha. Took my family to a gourmet food festival. Thankfully, it was within walking distance because the sheer number of distilleries offering free samples was crazy. Yeah, I imagine. Well, that sounds like a fun weekend. Yeah, I think we... I actually don't know. Like, do you think this is a deck where we're just supposed to mulligan until we find Rotpriest? This seems like a functional hand, but it's not a Rotpriest hand. 7 is better than 6, and I do hate mulliganing. Yeah, let's try it. We'll see. We'll feel it out. If this goes horribly wrong, then we'll know we better mulligan for Rotpriest in the future. Oh, also they announced Vegas, MagicCon Vegas today. I don't know if anyone's gonna do Vegas in September. I think we're doing Vegas, most likely. Dylan Hunter, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Thank ya. Well, Traverse Uvenwalds. Do we even care what's on our opponent's deck? Yeah, let's see what's on our deck. Because we could Spellskite, okay? Well, Copperline, George, and go. So we get a Spellskite's good. I wonder if this deck wants more fetch lands. How do we turn on Traverse Uvenwald is the question. Like, we need to somehow turn on Traverse Uvenwald, so then we can tutor up Rotpriest. Oh, don't Thoughtseeze us. Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Ooh, I've never went to Gen Con. I keep hearing that I really should go to Gen Con someday. Dungeon Storm. Oh, are we Acera racking? Yes. We played a deck like this in Pioneer. Quite a while ago now, before Tyvar was a thing. Tyvar seems really good for the deck. But yeah, Relic of Legends, a Sararak, Gwenna. That is a cool deck. I feel like we did well with it, too. I feel like, I don't know if we went 5-0, but I feel like we went 4-1 or something. The combo's actually pretty good. Yeah, that looks sweet. They take the Arcanist. Copperline Gorge is interesting. So we can Manamorphose... Instant in the graveyard. We're getting close. Yeah, let's Manamorphose. Draw a card. We just want to get to this Rotpriest. Another Gorge. Well, all right, Spellskite. Go. 3 card types in the graveyard. So we need a sorcery in the graveyard to get a Rotpriest. Can someone answer a question about redemption on Moto? What is your redemption question? Oh, this Traverse is never going to do a thing. Okay. Spellskite beatdowns, it is. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's just draw a Rotpriest. That would make us happy. How about a Rotpriest off the top? Rotpriest? Mutagenic growth. Oh, hey Seth, my friend is trying to build Gates in Pioneer, but having no luck with winning. Do you think it's just too slow for the format? I haven't played Pioneer Gates in a minute, although every time I've played a Gate deck, we always do, I guess it's Jengatha time, we always do better than I expect. So I'll have to test it against the current meta. Maybe the current meta has gotten too fast for it. But when we played it like 6 months ago or something, it felt pretty good then. I'd be curious to see what the deck looked like. Does Moto Redemption exist? It does. 4 standard sets only. So the TLDR on Redemption is for about 6 months after a standard set releases, if you get a complete set on Magic Online, you can take and trade that complete set along with $25 to get a complete set in paper. That's kind of the short version of it. It used to be longer. It used to be as long as the set was legal in standard, you could do it, but they've shortened it, so now it's like 6 months after release. Yeah, you gotta pay, oh, maybe it's 35 now. They might up the price to 35. Although, I think the price is still, compared to what you would buy the set for, it's usually a pretty good deal. Are we just going to traverse for a land? This relic is kind of wrecking us. All right, well, pass the turn. So far, this is the least explosive I could imagine this deck being. We are just doing nothing and waiting for our opponent to draw the Cabal Coffers and ruin our day. Thanks, guys. I got to marry the woman of my dreams. I had almost my entire family and friends with us. Our kids, our families, our friends was amazing. We did it on Saturday. The next day, here in Colorado Springs, 4 inches of rain and enough hail to make it look like it snowed. It was an outside wedding in my parents' backyard. I'm lucky in more ways than one. Congratulations, Soul. That's awesome. Super, super huge congratulations. Yes, it's a single copy of each card. You need a single copy on Magic Online, and then you'll get a single copy. You can also do it for foils, but you need a foil copy of each card on Moto, and then you get a foil copy of each card. Oh, golly. Okay. This is looking bad. Things are getting worse by the second. Okay, so apparently we got to mulligan more aggressively for Rotpriest. Although, honestly, how do you play around a main deck Relic? Like, how do you expect it to be one of the very, very few decks that's playing a playset of main deck Relics? Hard to actually play around that. Abundant Harvest. How can we win? Is there any way we can win this game? Yes, you can. There's stores that redeem. There used to be stores that redeem like hundreds of complete sets. I'm sure there still are. So yeah, you can as long as you have a complete set of Magic Online, you can redeem as many as you want as long as you pay the shipping and whatnot. Jingatha Beats. I feel like we're gonna have to kill this Karn, right? We're gonna have to double Mutagenic Growth. Double Mutagenic Growth to kill the Karn. I mean, I guess we Abundant Harvest non-land, because if we hit a Rotpriest, it's pretty good. Oh, we really just need this Rotpriest. This Relic is really making our life difficult. Abundant Harvest, non-land. Rotpriest. Another Abundant Harvest. Okay. Abundant Harvest, non-land. Rotpriest. Where's our Rotpriest? Non-land. Ooh, okay. Okay. Is there hope? Is there hope? Is there hope? So we can play Venerated Rotpriest. Wait a minute. So we play Rotpriest. Oh, I don't know if we can get quite enough. Opponent's going to exile a card from the graveyard. Sure. We've cast 3 spells so far. Oh, I think this works. Oh, check this out. I think this is gonna work. Okay, so we need to kill the Karn to turn on the Spellskite. So Mutagenic Growth, paying life. Target the Spellskite. Poison you. I think, if I'm understanding this right, I think it works. Because we cast our spells, we kill the Karn, we ground riff on the Venerated Rotpriest, redirect them to the Spellskite, and I think that should give us lethal poison here. All right, Mutagenic Growth, the Spellskite. Poison counter number 2. Go to combat. Whoa! Kill the Karn. Okay, this deck might be kind of explosive, actually. Hit you. We haven't played a land yet, so we get to crack this. We haven't played a land, right? I'm not confusing myself. We haven't played a land. Non-land, non-land. We definitely haven't played a land. Okay, so get a forest. Traverse the Uvenwald. Get a mountain. Play the mountain. Ground Rift. Storm count at 6. Target the Rotpriest. Copy it a few times. Opponent gets poisoned. And now... So everything goes with the Rotpriest. Oh, this is so sweet. So good. And now... We're going to do a little change of direction here. Pay some life. Change the Ground Rift to the Spellskite. Trigger Rotpriest. Pay some life. Ground Rift to the Spellskite. Yes. 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 Opponent says they didn't know that. Nice. Oh, what a kill. What a kill. Okay. Wow. This deck can go from 0 to 60 pretty fast, can it? We were doing nothing. Like, felt like one of the worst draws. Opponents eating our graveyard, they're carning us, and the Rotpriest shows up and the game just ends. That was actually super impressive. Oh, what was the punt there? I figured I would punt a lot with this deck. What was the punt? Graveyard Hate makes Underworld Breach seem a little sketchy. Hey, thank you, Kibbies. Rotpriest is a beast. Opponent says, wow, I didn't know that. Nice. I don't think they knew about the Spellskite redirect trick. Yeah, so Spellskite doubles your Storm, and also if you have 2 of them, you go like sort of infinite until you run out of life, like pseudo infinite. Oh, okay. Yeah, that still might work. Can you keep changing the same Ground Rift target? You might be able to, actually. Spellskite is a weird card. I guess the copy would only target it once, though. All right, so I think we want Tamiyo Safekeepings, because they do play a ton of removal. Maybe Natural States? And then go down. Do we cut the Breach? Maybe we cut the Breach. Well, we want the Rotpriest, that's for sure. I mean, we do have DRC here too. We just didn't have it that game. What do we cut? Maybe go down 1 under. They have so much Graveyard Hate. Maybe we even cut the Arcanist? That might be fine. Like, cut the Arcanist. Maybe something like this. 1 Underworld Breach. Yeah, let's try it like that. All right, on to game number 2. Can we storm off Mono Black? I do like the Mono Black Cabal Coffers deck. That is a pretty sweet deck. Oh, I wonder if Hollow One can come back thanks to Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters, oh, this hand would be really good if we had a land. So it'd be like almost perfect if we had a land. Well, okay. This hand's not perfect, but we do have a Traverse. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll give it a go. We're down to 6 anyway. Oh, let me see the Gates list, Water. Ooh. Okay. That looks pretty good. I mean, that looks similar. I wonder, I'm gonna have to look up my the discard. Let me see what my last Gates deck looked like. Mazes and Gates. Oh, we played it before Expressive Iteration got banned. I guess pretty similar, actually. Same basic idea. So yeah, I think your friend's on the right path. You want a lot of lands. What does this do? Top 6 cards, you reveal land, put them in your hand, the rest of the bottom. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I don't know if it's better than a Gatecreeper Vine, but they do basically the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to try Gates again in the new meta at some point. Maybe the meta's just shifted enough that it's not fast enough anymore. I think so. Gates, it really wants to play against creature decks. It like really beats up on fair creature decks. It does a lot worse. Yeah, we're gonna play it. We're gonna play the DRC, play the Bobble, Surveil, Spell Skite into the graveyard. Crack the Bobble. Opponent's drawing a swamp. All right, well, pass the turn. Come on, Dragon. Come on, Venerated Rotpriest. Yeah, the Gates deck really wants to play against fair creature decks. If you're running into more like hardcore control decks or combo-y decks like Lotus Field style decks, that might have been a punt. I guess we could have waited and cracked on our opponent's turn to avoid a discard spell because we ended up losing a second turn. Opponent. All right. Well, go Dragon Rage Channeler, I guess. Backup plan assembled. There's the Rotpriest. There is the Rotpriest. Well, let's play the Rotpriest. Get in with the DRC. We got the Tamiyo's. We got the Tamiyo safekeeping. So we do have some protection. Opponent's going to attack our graveyard. Sure. I mean, we just lucked into the Rotpriest, though, so we're kind of okay-ish. Headshot. 19. Pass the turn. So what have you all been playing in Magic recently? Anyone play anything good? Oh, Demolition Field. Well, float of mana. Demolition Field doesn't really matter. We actually are playing plenty of basics in this deck, surprisingly. Ooh, Omnath's a good addition for Gates. That's true. Ooh, are they gonna get us post combat? Is that the plan? Oh, March of Wretched Sorrow. Okay. Well, maybe Demolition Field's better than I thought. It was actually pretty good there. Now we once again do not have a Venerated Rotpriest. Well, how do we do this now? Hit you with the DRC. Down to 18. Play a Spell Skite. Pass the turn. I pack one, picked one Abash on Sunday at draft. Was able to draft a functional deck went through. Doesn't it feel really good when you make a companion work in limited? That is always a good feeling. I'm not gonna keep attacking the graveyard. Okay, passes. Well, all right. Abundant Harvest. Actually, do we Abundant Harvest? Well, let's go attacking. Do we Abundant Harvest for a land? Love the card making video. Super happy to see those guys. Awesome. Yeah, the card market team's really cool. If you have not seen their YouTube channel, one of my favorites actually. They make some really creative videos. And they're just like cool guys, so definitely would recommend it. Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking that too. Should we have fetched up another forest? Maybe. Like it would have let us leave up protection. Maybe we should have just went in max protection mode there. Do we even play anything? Our mana is so awkward at the moment. I don't really want Abundant Harvest for a land, but maybe that's where we're at. Yeah, let's just pass. Let's just pass. Pass and wait. Did you watch our hilarious Judge Tower video yet? I haven't. I heard about it. I don't. Maybe it was you that told me about it, but I haven't actually watched it yet. But I have heard that it's pretty funny. I'll have to make sure to check it out. Opponent keeps going at the graveyard. Sure. DRC. Well, all right. DRC number 2. And, well, now we're going to Abundant Harvest for a land, I think. Abundant Harvest. Kind of ruins our surveilling, but whatever. Graveyard. And graveyard. And land. All right, get the Wooded Foothills. Go to combat. Maybe we just win with the DRCs. Like, that is... It's not impossible we just beat down with the Dragon Rage channelers. Yeah, Krim actually went to Germany. Krim actually went to Germany to record there. I just did stuff from home. How does Judge Tower work, Stone Rain? What is the idea of it? Is that like the mental magic thing? Where you just kind of like play a card that you think of? Gave Standard a try after a long time, faced 4-color nonsense 5 times in a row, decided to give up. Until tribes are gone from Standard, I will not play again. That, or they give us some actual good non-basic land hate. Yeah, good non-basic land hate doesn't seem to be high on Wizards' agenda. Let's get this here before our opponent draws cards, in case we need to Tamiyo safekeeping. That is a Cabal Coffer, so our opponent's mana is getting big. That is a problem. Inquisition. I mean, I think we have to just cast a spell. Cast a spell, do some surveilling. The deck does do worse without a Rotpriest, doesn't it? Judge's Tower is extremely wacky. You have to play the cards. Oh! I think I actually did see that video, or yeah, I did. You have to play the cards as soon as you draw them, right? Yeah, I did actually see at least some of that video. That's definitely a weird take on Magic. Unique take. All right, well, we get Inquisition. We have literally nothing. Opponent has a Cabal Coffers. That just show. Come on now, chill with the relics, opponent. Golly. Well, I guess we assume our graveyard is just offline in this matchup because our opponent's all about the graveyard hate. Well, get a forest. All right. Well, let's draw a spell. We are officially hellbent. Hazoret would be great here. Well, Hazoret puts a land would be great here. Opponent exiles the graveyard again. Well, okay, Manamorphose. That's... You're never going to complain about a Manamorphose. That is some free surveilling. Yeah, we can find something else. To the graveyard. We do want to turn these back on. Oh, Rotpriest. Do we even want Rotpriest here? Or is it better just to put it in the graveyard? It might be better in the graveyard. Autumn Shake, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. It's probably better in the graveyard. We have no cards in hand, so we're nowhere near storming off. It's probably better in the graveyard just to try to get Delirium. Yeah, I mean, I think we want to just hit another spell, right? If we draw another spell, we can trigger our DRCs again. Well, I guess we're destined. We're destined for a Rotpriest this turn. No matter what. We're taking a Rotpriest, like it or not. Well, hit you for 2. One card type short. Opponent down to 10. Yeah, fetch would have been good. I played 3 times against your Gideon deck last week in Brawl. Oh no, are people actually playing it? How brutal was that? Invoke Despair. All right, well, there goes Spellskite. Turns on the DRCs. Opponent draws some cards. And a Fatal Push to kill the Rotpriest. Confidence dropping. Confidence is dropping. Oh, no! Oh, well, our opponent did have 3 relics on the top of their deck. Wow, they have the Graveyard Hate. A Panharmonicon, it has gears. It's a mechanical orchestra thing. I still think I'm right. I really do. Opponent does not read Sheoldred's Edict. And says oops. And then legend rules themselves. Wow, what a turn for our opponent there. Misclick the Sheoldred's Edict. Legend rule the Urborg. Alright, exiles our graveyard again. Turns off our DRCs again. I mean, I guess we just Ground Rift Surveil. Try to fill the graveyard. Boom, not blocking. Have you played with new Eoriel with Crew Companion and Historic Brawl? Ooh, I haven't. Bobble's probably worth keeping. We're not turning Delirium on this turn anyway. So let's keep the Bobble for next turn. Hit our opponent for 2. We don't have any burn spells, so we gotta do this all with creatures. I mean, what do you think a Panharmonicon actually is? I know. Opponent, seriously? Every relic? Everyone. How is that even possible? What is this world we live in? Well, we know the relics are gone after this because they have literally drawn all 4 of them. Mishra's Bobble, Trigger, Surveil. Opponent gonna exile a card from the graveyard. Well, land in the graveyard. And sorcery in the graveyard. This does make our opponent crack the relic again. Resolves go to combat. Attack ya. Opponent exiles our graveyard. Takes what an annoying way for this matchup to go. Our graveyard has gotten wiped so many times. Yeah, we'll crack the Bobble on their upkeep and see what they draw. Oh, Fatal Push. That's a good one. Oh, 6 points. I don't think we can get in these last 6 points. The Companion doesn't do much, right? Like, we can't even cast it. We need 2 more lands to cast it. Not the best Underworld Breach. Well. Wait, is there a chance? Is there a way to do this with Underworld Breach? Cast Mutagenic Growth. Surveil. But then our opponent... we know there's... If there wasn't a Fatal Push, I think we'd have it. Go to combat. Attack. Yeah, I don't think we can go for it yet. Opponent takes it to 4. Well, grab Jengatha. Pass the turd. So much graveyard hate. I don't think it works, though, because of the Fatal Push. So if we go for it, we Mutagenic Growth, Dragon Rage Channeler. Our opponent Fatal Push is the one that we target. So it fizzles the pump. And then we Surveil, Mutagenic Growth, the other one, Surveil, and it's not enough to get to lethal. This turn, I think it's enough to get to lethal. Assuming our opponent does not have another... Okay, opponent Fatal Pushes 2 turns in a row. Not ideal. Well, okay, Manamorphose. Oh, that was obnoxious. Manamorphose. Red, green. Yeah, pass the turn. Yeah, opponent has drawn all the right cards for this matchup for sure. How do we get both of our DRCs back? I mean, we only play 15 lands, so not having much mana makes sense, but traverse. Well, traverse for a land. I think we just want to build up. Oh, God. Okay. Traverse to get a card in the graveyard, I mean. Okay. That's not how traverse works, apparently. Okay, that makes more sense. We just needed a card in the graveyard. We just needed a card in the graveyard. That's it. That was the plan. All part of the plan, chat. All part of the plan. All right, there's a land. All right, wooded foothills. Crack wooded foothills. Stomping grounds. Untapped. So we Underworld Breach. Manamorphose. Oh, we just don't have that many cards in our graveyard. Underworld Breach, Manamorphose. I mean, I guess we can just Underworld Breach, get back a Dragon Rage Channeler, and call it a day. That might be our best bet. We could safekeeping the land and wait. That would let us. Our dream world is somehow we get back both Dragon Rage Channelers. But that's still, like, the DRCs don't immediately win us the game. Yeah, let's pass. Let's pass and safekeeping the land. We know our opponent just has some whammy draws, though. That's the thing. We're giving our opponent so long to draw a Karn, to draw a Sundering Titan, to draw an Invoke Despair. Like, they have a lot of things that are ridiculously good top decks here. Safekeeping. Protect the land. Opponent still has plenty of mana. Hey, what's up, Daddy? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Opponent. They're going to draw a bomb eventually. Oh, jeez. This is getting absurd. This is literally getting to the point of straight up absurdity now. We have reached the point of absurdity. Like, yeah, it is definitely the point of just straight up absurdity. So I guess we go red. We draw another Tameo Safekeeping. Doesn't do anything. So Underworld Breach only lets us cast cards. So we can Underworld Breach. They're probably holding a removal spell. Boy, the pinch on mana is so brutal. Yeah. We don't have a way to protect the DRC, I guess. I guess that's what we got to do, though. This is our only breach. This is the weirdest game I've played in a while. So Dragon Rage Channeler, exile. Mishra's Bauble, exile. Surveil. Rotpriest. Oh, we can't cast anything else either way, right? Like, this is it. We sack the Bauble. Yeah, Rotpriest Graveyard. Bobble. Well, it comes down to this. Do we untap with the Dragon Rage Channeler? Does our opponent draw the bomb? Next turn, it's lethal. Graveyard Hate is done. Fatal Pushes, they've used a ton of them. There goes the Breach. Oh, this game. This game has been so wild. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. All right, opponent. Last card was a Shieldred's Edict. This time our opponent cast it in a way that actually worked as removal. Well, let's correct the bobble. Oblivion Stone. Yep. Oh, this game. Opponent plays Oblivion Stone. Pass it. Do we even have threats left? Is there any way we actually kill our opponent? We get to draw 2 cards. Manamorphose. Tameo Safekeeping. Well, let's cast a Manamorphose. I guess we gotta find another Dragon Rage Channeler. Red. Green. Pass the turn. This is first match, yeah. This has been one of the weirder games of Magic I've played in a long time. About it. Untaps. And passes. Yeah, I am not impressed by Jengatha. Jengatha feels like basically a dead card. Grape Shot. Oh. Okay. There is a way that ends up being lethal, but we need something to target with these mutagenic growths. We can't cast the mutagenic growths. Oh, it's a Grape Shot, but we can't get the storm. Oh no. Well, we knew they were gonna draw it. Wow. Okay. Safekeeping. Wait. Oh. Oh. Oh, do we cast it? Oh no. Okay, wait, we gotta think about this. So if we let them eat the land, we need one more spell though. So we either pray and hope we hit a land, or we pray, or we let it, or we save it and hope we hit a spell. I think our odds of hitting a spell are higher than a land, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we only have 5 lands left. Yeah, I think we have higher odds of hitting a spell than hitting a land, a 1-mana spell. Bobble wins. Any 1-mana spell wins. 1-mana green spell, I guess, like a Rotpriest or a Safekeeping. Oh, that would be a hilarious win. Come on, deck. Come on, Magic Gods. Please. Please. Oh, it's a Grape Shot. So... yeah, Grape Shot's a sorcery. Only a sorcery. So Grape Shot our opponent. For 1. Pass the turn. Come on, please. Just top deck a useless land. Come on. Come on. Opponent. Untaps. Combat. Eats our deck. It's not over yet. Oh, it is over. That's right, it's 20. I don't know why I was thinking it was 10. So yeah, we are... wow. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking it was going to exile 10 cards, but 20, yeah, 20 we are dead. My mind is blown. That was such an amazingly weird game. That was an amazingly weird game. All right, all right, all right, all right. So do we even want the underworld breach? Is it even worth it? We were so close. Yeah, that was like the all of their like Field of Ruins work. They top decked those two fatal. Like our opponent needed everything. Couldn't you two mutagenic growths and then grape shot? Yeah, but that's only three. Like two mutagenic growths and gross and then grape shot. That's only 3 damage. It's not lethal. So we needed 2 turns basically, or we needed to draw a spell to up the storm count. We were one spell slash damage slash storm short. If we had one more spell to cast, we could have got the storm count high enough. But yeah, mutagenic growth, grape shot. That's storm of 2, so 3 damage. I mean, the good news is this deck can win really quickly with a good hand. And this is a pretty good hand. I mean, turn 1 Rotpriest. Turn 2 something. We'll see how much removal our opponent's got, but this is the kind of hand we want to see. Well, all right, Forest and Venerated Rotpriest. Go. 3 minutes to win this game. Can we close it out? About it. Come on, no fatal push. No fatal push. Urborg and has the fatal push. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, we knew that was a possibility. Grape shot. Not looking great here. So if we play this... If we play the Spellskite, we don't really have time to think about things. If we play the Spellskite, we get got by removal. Yeah, I think we just go Rotpriest. Rotpriest DRC. Not the best time for a Grape Shot. Pass the turn. Opponent. Field of Ruin. And... oh, another removal spell. Yeah. All right, March of Otherworldly Light, pitching Invoke Despair to kill the Rotpriest again. I mean, our opponents definitely had the right cards for the matchup, that's for sure. They have had the removal every single time. There's a Spellskite. Not doing much. Get in for 1. About it. So the problem with just playing Spellskite and then passing is our opponent, we've seen about an infinite number of discard spells, and them just sniping the Rotpriest from our hand is pretty brutal. So that's what we're kind of trying to avoid. Well, let's play another Spellskite. Hilariously, if we could somehow get to get another Rotpriest, which we're already down 2, but if we could somehow get one more, we have the 2 Spellskites to do the Spellskite combo. About it. Alright, so much for the 2 Spellskites. Opponent has another removal spell. So opponent kept 2 lands, all the removal. Hopefully they just never draw lands. About it untaps. And Inquisition, okay. Remaining obnoxious. Well, I mean, I guess the next goal is to turn on this DRC and keep attacking. We got 2 minutes to win. Opponent takes the Ground Rift and passes. This might be Grape Shot for 1. Well, Bobble, that's actually better. All right, Bobble. Surveil. We definitely don't want more Grape Shots. Grape Shot you. Yeah, Grape Shot, yeah. Surveil. Tameo safekeeping in the graveyard. All right, turn on the DRC. Hit ya. Same targets. We can't really F6 because we need to leave up our spell skite. So that's going to be a further level of complications here. Hit ya. I probably am not going to be able to see chat until after this game ends, or we're definitely going to time out. All right, hit ya. Stop on your upkeep. Crack the bauble. See what they're drawing, hoping it's not a land or a removal spell. All right, March of Wretched Sorrow. That's pretty bad. They can pitch their cards to try to kill something. Opponent passing. We get to draw 2, and we do have this Traverse that can get a Rotpriest. We draw land, and somehow even more lands. Well, all right, Traverse. Surveil, land in the graveyard, take the Rotpriest, play Copperline Gorge, play the Rotpriest, go to combat, hit ya. Well, let's see how much removal they got. Opponent. Down. I don't know if we're going to do it in time or not. Down to 13. Opponent. I thought this deck was going to play quick and easy games, but apparently not. Could use a spell or two. That would be sweet. About it. Thinking. What did they find? Oh, this is another Shieldred's Edict? That would be bad. Okay, Legend Rules themselves. Oblivion Stone. Well, I mean, that's not a problem until they draw a bunch more mana. Spells, please. Spells. All right, Abundant Harvest. Non-land. Trigger. Sure. Natural State. Go to combat. Hit ya. Time is running very short, though. Opponent, down to 9. Stomping Grounds tapped past the turn. 27 seconds. Mr. Booby Ball, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much. Oh, they draw the land. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Opponent. Passing. Oh, the clock. Opponent passes. Copperline Gorge, horrible. Go to combat, do some attacking. Opponent. Gonna try to eat up our clock? Yes. All right, gonna try to eat up our clock. Yeah, opponent. Takes the beats. Oh, what a brutal way to lose. Pass the turn. What a brutal way to lose. Yeah, that's the way to try to fizzle that removal spell. We just don't have enough time. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh. I mean, now we definitely don't have enough time because they can just run the clock with that removal spell. About it. Passes. Thinks about passing. Sort of passes. Has an upkeep stop set. Oh, and another land. And that's how it ends. Oh. Wow. Wow. Well, it goes down as a loss. The DRC was definitely the move. We had a DRC, though. Wait, what are you talking about? I'm so confused. What DRC was the move? Oh, should have tried to get a DRC for the Traverse. Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe that would have been better. I mean, I guess it's Maybe. They have so many graveyard hate spells and so many removal spells. I guess maybe it'd be worth it just to like assume you're not gonna win with the Rotpriest. But we've seen the DRC plan in that matchup be super fragile and not especially effective. So I'm not super convinced that that it would hold up, unfortunately. Like we saw in game one, the upside of Rotpriest is it can just win out of nowhere, especially with a spell sky down the battlefield. Like that's kind of the upside, but maybe it's not worth not worth going for it. I mean, the big issue is just running out of time, and also that just like ridiculous game two where our opponent like just mind-blowingly right cards with drawing like every relic, every right piece of interaction at the right moment in that one. Definitely an interesting matchup. The amount of removal that deck has is pretty over the top. Planes for our opponent and Esper Sentinel. Mm-hmm. Well, can we find any good cards? This hand, the big problem with this hand is it is all spell skites, and we don't have any Rotpriest or anything similar. Yeah, that was a brutal draw because we used our Tameo safekeeping to protect our land, and our opponent just top decked into another Field of Ruin. That was just kind of how that whole game went, though. Like our opponent was just on point every time they needed something. They found that something like every time. Ooh, all right, off to a fast hammer time start. Opponent. Yeah, it doesn't seem like... Huh. Do we just have to spell skite down their... or grape shot down their creatures? How do we beat an Urza's Saga? How do we get a Rotpriest? That's a real question. Maybe we need a Spellskite to die? We need a Spellskite to die to get an artifact creature in the graveyard to turn on Delirium? That might be the best bet. Well, I guess we just play another Spellskite. Unfortunately, we can't steal our opponent's equips. That would be sweet. About it. I mean, this deck feels interesting. It's cool when it works. Like, I could see how it'd be very powerful when it works. Yeah, I think Venerated Rotpriest is kind of our Shaper Sanctuary, more or less. Like, I think that's the main idea. So we don't have any actual Shaper Sanctuaries, though. Isn't Slip Out the Back better than Spellskite? Not in this deck. Spellskite's a combo piece, essentially, because Rotpriest triggers whenever you target a creature with a spell. So with a Spellskite out, you can Mutagenic Growth on, like, a Rotpriest, and then redirect to the Spellskite and get double the triggers. Ooh, there's the Rotpriest. Alright. Well, that's one way to do it. Can we win the game here is the question. Maybe. I mean, I guess it's going to depend on if our opponent has a counter. They do sometimes have some counters. All right, so let's... Venerated Rotpriest. Storm count 1. Traverse the Uvenwald. Yeah, this is where the counter could get us. So what we need to do, we need to traverse for a land. Mutagenic Growth. Actually, maybe we just Grape Shot first. Grape Shot. Do a bunch of Spellskite stuff. Can we do it without traversing for a land is the question. That is the question. I don't think so. Yeah, life is the pinch. Growth into Grape Shot isn't lethal though, right? So if we cast Growth, poison counter 1, storm count 2, then we Grape Shot 3 copies, that's 4 poison. We're at that's 4 poison. We're at 16 life. So we can activate Spellskite 7 times. Actually that, oh no, but Mutagenic Growth is 2 life. So we're at 14 life, we can do it 6 times. Is that still enough? Wait, did I just count up to 10? So Mutagenic Growth, poison counter number 1, Grape Shot, 2, 3, 4 poison counters. We're at 14 life. On the stack, redirect it back and forth 6 times. We go to 2. Yeah, I think that actually does work. Okay, so Mutagenic Growth, Spellskite. Yes, is, well, yeah, counting to 10, but in a very complicated, convoluted way. 10 is the easy part. The hard part is not killing ourselves. And this doesn't take into consideration having to fizzle a removal spell. If that happens, then I think everything falls apart. All right, so Grape Shot. Target the Rotpriest. Trigger. Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. Double Spellskite combo? I mean, we should be good. Could we win right here? Just bouncing the Grape Shot back and forth? I think so, right? But no, we need these Storm copy triggers. So if our opponent does something right here, and we have to activate the Spellskite, we don't have enough life. We don't have enough life to bounce it enough times. All right, opponent lets it go. They get poisoned. Grape Shot. Once the triggers go on the stack, okay. Now I think we're good, right? Same targets, same targets. Let's see if we can do this without messing up. All right, so Rotpriest resolves. And then we Spellskite, change the Grape Shot to Spellskite. Yes. And then, wait. This Spellskite went on the action. This Spellskite will change it to itself. No, this Spellskite wants it, though. Let's switch it back. Yeah, back to the first Spellskite. Back to the second Spellskite. Back to the first Spellskite. And back to the second Spellskite. And down to 2. And if all of our math is correct, that should be a lethal number of Rotpriest triggers? Yes, we did it! We did it! Yes! I would love to see you try to count to 10 in other languages. Oh god, I wouldn't know where to start. We did successfully count to 10. I mean, that's a pretty fast, sweet combo kill. Like, boy, the deck is so explosive. I don't know if it's consistent enough to be like a real legit top tier deck, but wow, is it explosive. Hey Seth, was looking forward to watching you tomorrow as a loyal VOD frog. Have you heard about the return of large open competitive tournaments? So, yeah, I don't know, did you all see they announced, so part of the, I'm curious what you think about this. So part of the Vegas announcement, they announced MagicCon Vegas in September. Part of the MagicCon Vegas announcement probably got a little accidentally tan from being outside over the weekend more than normal. So part of the announcement is they're doing a $100,000 limited open tournament, where if you're at Vegas, you can pay $165, and it's a 3-day long kind of GP style limited tournament. First day sealed, second day drafts, top 8 drafts. Is this something you'd play in? So on one hand, I'm definitely excited to see these style of tournaments come back. Limited is not like the most exciting to me. That was the part that was weird about the announcement, is they just like said all this stuff about trying to save paper standard. And then their big announcement for the first tournament is limited, which I know people also want limited. So that part's cool. Like, that part is cool. I also, do you think the prizes are fair? I was speaking of back of the napkin math. So it's 100, you have to pay to get into the tournament, like the con itself. But then you have to pay $160, I believe, to play in the limited open. They're paying out $100,000 if they have all 2,000 people play, which I'm sure they're gonna sell out. I would be surprised if they did not sell out. That's like $320,000. So take in 320, pay out 100,000. I don't know what good prizes are. Like, I guess there's also all the packs. Like, you're getting packs for sealed and for draft if you make day 2. Hydra, welcome to the fishbowl. Yeah, I mean, this is very much like an old GP. Like, $100,000 altogether, $20,000. I guess we should sideboard. $20,000 for first place. Like, I mean, we haven't had tournaments like this though, so that's pretty nitpicky, I guess, to complain too much about like the prize pool when the TLDR is big paper Magic events actually coming back, limited for the first one, but still. I hope they do some standard ones. I hope they do some standard ones, do some modern ones. I would love to see like a GP circuit come back. It sounds like they're not planning on doing that, but to me, that would be the most ideal. To just like bring back actual GPs would be so sweet. Best MTGO card seller. So the big ones are really the ones I recommend. GoatBots is very good. Card Hoarder is very good. MTGO Traders are very good. Those are 3 that I've used for like a decade, and I know a lot of the people that run them and definitely trust them. So those would be the ones I'd recommend. In that I use Card Hoarder the most because they do the card rental program that I use. Ooh, double Rotpriest draw. All right, yeah, that's 2 Rotpriests. We don't really have a way to protect them or even target them, but as we've learned from Standard, 2 Rotpriests is kinda busted. Yeah, it would be fun to see them not attached to events as well. Like, doing them at Vegas is cool, but I would like to see a return of, like, standalone events. Yeah, for me, I use GoatBots a lot for if I just need a card when I'm on the client. I usually just snag it from GoatBots. And then when I'm getting full decks, I usually use Card Hoarder. I always use Card Hoarder because of the card rental program and, like, integration on Goldfish and whatnot is convenient. All right, well, Stomping Grounds, untapped, and yeah, let's just Dragon Rage Channeler. Go. Oh, about it. So, chat, what do you think? So yesterday, I don't know if you watched the Mono Green Budget Magic. So we played Mono Green in Standard for Budget Magic. The deck's like $80 in paper. It's like 30 ticks on Moto. So it's actually like pretty cheap. The problem is it's not that cheap on Arena. Like 32 rares, 4 mythics. It's one of those decks where like in Standard now, even like the Mana Dorks are rare. Like Llanowar Loam Speakers are rare. Pelugrinos. It's built around, it's like a very traditional Budget Magic deck where it's built around a bunch of like really cheap, janky rares that no one else plays. So they're super cheap, except on Arena, the economy doesn't work. What do you think we do about, what do you want out of Budget Magic? Like, do you like decks like that? Or when you see a deck like this, are you like, it's not budget for me because I only play Arena? Gonna do some Arena later. I think probably be playing all Magic Online today. We play Arena a lot too, but today I think it'll probably just be Modern. Oh, about it. How's the cube? I heard there's a cube back. I haven't tried it yet. That's a good draw. Okay, so Wooded Foothills. Grab a Forest. Rotpriest. Also Rotpriest. And I think there's some chance we could win next turn with 2 Rotpriests. We're like a storm card away potentially with 2 free spells in hand of just winning the game if our stuff lives. About it. And if they target our stuff, at least we get some poison counters. Arid Mesa. We shouldn't die yet, right? Like, they only have Giver, which even with Hammer, I guess they could have double Hammer, but unless they have double Hammer, we should be good. There's Poison Storm in Pauper. Would like to see how you pilot it? Some people have asked about Pauper lately. Maybe we gotta do triple hammer. Yeah, no one beats a triple hammer. Some people have asked about Pauper lately, so maybe we gotta do some Pauper at some point. My Tempo Cube will be featured at CubeCon this fall. Will you be there? I'm trying to figure that out. I would really like to. I'm hoping to be able to make it to CubeCon. What did Foothills say? All right, so how do we do this in the way most likely to be lethal? What did Foothills crack? What did Foothills? Grab a Stomping Ground untapped. Manamorphose. Looking for things to target our creatures. Abundant Harvest, Graveyard, I think. To the graveyard. Manamorphose, green and red. Oh, Spellskite. Okay. That's still not lethal though, right? Do we just wait another turn? I think we wait another turn. Let's play Spellskite. Abundant Harvest. Non-land. Surveil. Mill the Arcanist. Draw an Arcanist. Okay. Hit you with the DRC. Mono Red is like 20 rare wildcards. Yeah, I mean, so that's the challenge with budget on Arena. It's not that you can never make decks that are budget on Arena. The problem is there's just not that many of them. So if you try to do a budget deck every week, so budget on Arena, because the biggest sticking point is just like dual lands or a ton of rare wildcards. Hey, what's up, AC? How are you? Good to see you. Since that's the biggest issue, that dual lands are a huge wildcard sink, you're kind of limited mostly to like monocolor decks. And then even then you're like mono blue with Haughty Jin is my only rares or whatever, like to do like true budget decks. So that's kind of the challenge, I would say. Opponent's going to path our Spellskite. Okay. Get poisoned. Get poisoned. So they are going to get a hammer. Is there a chance? Are we just dying here? So opponent's at 2. Yeah, all right. Well, grab a land. This Arcanist looking pretty bad. Opponent going to float a mana. We could be dead. This is where double hammer would just kill us. There's a hammer. On the dork. Mana floating. Okay. And land. And hammer and death. Well, sometimes they draw the hammers. They actually do have 2 hammers. Probably should have cast our spells. Main feast 2 to block with DRC. Yeah, maybe. Or hopefully they don't have 2 hammers. This deck is interesting. Like, powerful, but I mean, it's actually just like the standard deck, isn't it? It feels just like the standard deck. Where, like, when you have the draw, it's like the most busted thing. But when you don't have the draw, it's kind of a joke. just like the standard version. I mean, this can surveil a bunch with DRC, but no I mean, maybe that's how we find our... Can we even keep this? I don't even know if we can keep this. What number of rares would you consider budget? It's tough. I don't really have a solid answer to that. So the number that we have mostly went with is like 15-ish. But on Arena, people are going to complain or have different opinions of it no matter what. Like, no matter what you do, like some people think 15's too much. Some people say 15's too you should be able to play more because of how much wildcards cost in the store or whatever. You can like math it out. What do you consider budget on Arena? I mean, basically what it comes down to is you could build decks with literally 0 rares or mythics, but outside of like very, 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 very rare instances, most of those decks are not actually going to be that competitive. And more importantly, a lot of them are not going to be that interesting. Like that's the real issue. Not being that competitive. If you can, go 2 and 3 or whatever, that's fine. Like it's not like a budget deck has to be winning 80% of the time or something. It's great if that happens, but that's not really a qualification for being a decent budget deck. You can be a decent budget deck and not win that much. The thing is, they got to be interesting, and it's much harder to build interesting decks or thematic decks around exclusively commons and uncommons, because normally most of the interesting cards come at rare, like the cards with a bunch of text that have like cool mechanics and abilities. Those mostly show up at rare, so that's kind of the challenge. Well, I guess we just have to pass because of this Esper Sentinel. I would say 8 to 10, including lands, is Arena budget. Mono Blue Temple is probably the cheapest standard deck in wildcards and paper prices right now. Yeah, Mono Blue you can build for what, like 8? Maybe 8 rares and mythics? Maybe 4? Maybe you can do it with just Haughty Jins. Whew, there's a Stoneforge, and we know our opponent has Cauldron Complete in hand. Okay, this is going to be sketchy. What do you think if they rare shifted all the lands down to common? If they would just put the dual lands at uncommon, that would solve so many issues. As far as accessibility, prices, budget decks, like being at uncommon even would just totally change the game. Well, I guess we got to do something because we're going to be dying here. I don't want our opponent to draw a card especially. It's Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills. Can we talk about Big Red in Standard? With Fable out, it's still surprisingly big. What are you playing in Big Red 0-1 by? Like All Will Be One Planeswalker stuff? I do love All Will Be One. Well, Manamorphose. Actually, do we have to not pay the 1? Maybe we have to not pay the... So if we Manamorphose Grape Shot down your board, I guess that's the plan. So we will pay the 1. This is not how the deck is supposed to play Grape Shot, but we know a Cauldron Complete's about to come. Mill the Spellskite. Red, green. Draw a Natural State. Okay. Manamorphose number 2. Ground Rift to the graveyard. Red, green. Oh, draw another land. All right. Hit the Esper Sentinel. Natural State. Gotta go graveyard. We need actual threats. Well, I mean, we get to kill both creatures. Our opponent didn't get to draw. We turned on our Dragon Rage Channeler. And the Natural State can deal with this Urza Saga eventually. Opponent. Urza Saga. We also ended up with 6 lands. 6 of our 15 lands, somehow. Somehow, all the lands. I mean, looks like a big J game. I feel like they would make more money if it was easier to get into multicolor decks without having to waste all your wildcards on lands. I'm very curious what people's experience is. Like, so I guess the question is, what happens when people start playing the game and they get to that like pinch point? This has been, I don't know, how many of you played Marvel Snap? There's like, I always hear about Marvel Snap because Richard got really into it and Krim got pretty into it for a while. Apparently, like, the Marvel Snap economy is just like absolutely horrible, like somehow worse than the Magic economy, which is kind of amazing almost that that's even possible. But somehow, wow, they're not going to make a construct. They're going to Pithing Needle nothingness. What do you even pit? A Spellskite? Okay, Pithing Needle Spellskite. Sure. Sure. I mean, that's kind of fine. We draw an Arcanist. Well, okay, so step one. I mean, so the issue is you like can't get the cards, right? That seems like kind of the issue. But all this to say, like, what I've been hearing about Snap is people got really hyped for it, and then you get to this point where you can't get cards. You can't get the cards you want because of how they do the releases, and like Series 5 cards are impossible to get, and they like don't decrease the rarity enough or something. I don't know. I'm not a Snap Finance expert, but basically people get to the point where they can't get more cards easily, and then you either spend money to get those cards or you just drop out, I guess, of the game is the kind of the pathways you go down. What do people do in Arena? I guess that's the question. Like, do people get to that point in Arena where like I can't build this cool deck because I don't have enough resources, so I can't build this cool multicolor deck I want to build? Do those people just give up on the game altogether? Do they just quit playing? Or I guess we can keep Manamorphose. Do they just quit playing the game altogether? Or do they break down and spend money? If they quit playing the game altogether or play less, I think we could make a pretty good case to WotC that the right thing to do would be to make the lands cheaper, make them uncommons, because you're going to keep players going. You're going to keep players like engaged, and eventually they're going to spend more money in the long run because they're not quitting your game altogether. If those players get to that point and they're like, you know, screw it, I really want to play this deck, and they put $50 into Arena or whatever to buy wild cards, then it's going to be a lot harder to convince Wizards that they should actually make changes, because I think that's what they want to happen. Like, if people get to that point and then they give them money to get out of that point, that's kind of WotC's dream. I've been playing Arena since it started, and for a while even bought the $50 pre-release pack bundle, did my daily quest, but never was I far enough ahead to ever truly brew with lands. Now I will save up 20 wares, but due to 3-color deck requiring 60 plus lands, I can never play the interesting multicolor decks. Forces me to just grind more to earn more coins in draft, because the only way to have more fun anymore, I gave up on competition constructed. I think that's probably a common story. What do you think about the changes to cards staying legal longer? I think as much as I don't like, another saga. As much as I don't like overall the changes of longer rotation, I think it's going to lead to Standard being less fun to play because it's going to get stale more, or that's my fear. I do think there's an upside that it makes your lands legal longer. So like the fact that gameplay wise, I don't know if this is good, because like Triomes, for example, make the 5-color soup style decks really easy to pull off, and I don't know if that's like a positive really. However, the fact that those Triomes are going to be illegal for a year longer, it might mean some of you people who struggle with the lands, or the conversation we're just having, like, I'm kind of trying not to put money in the game. I can't build 3-color decks because I just don't have the resources. Lands are too expensive. Like, there's our Arcanist. We did kind of have plans for that. Well, we got to keep the Rotpriest. We got to keep it, I think. Red, green. We don't have any spells. It's tough when we don't have Rotpriest early. When we find Rotpriest later in the game, it becomes much trickier because we don't have any resources. Like, we don't have anything to target it with. So when we have Rotpriest on like turn 1, it's really sweet, but what do we do with the Rotpriest now on turn 5? Like, we're Rotpriest, but I mean, I guess we also just like ridiculously flooded this game for our deck. 6 lands out of 15 is, whoo. Yeah, we got Big J. This is actually a game where the 5/5 can be perhaps relevant. I don't know how we get through the constructs, but we'll see. There's no free hammer equipping at the moment, which is good. About it. So opponent can make a 2/2 construct. Dragon Rage Chandler is actually kind of sweet. Well, get in with the DRC. We're doing this in the fairest way possible. Get in. Hit ya. Down to 5. Land untapped. Jengatha. And then Dragon Rage Chandler number 2. I think, though, they can construct and then get lifelink. I guess the construct's not that big, though. Well, that's what we got, opponent. Hopefully it's enough. Why isn't this deck playing Shuko? I'm going to have to look up Shuko. Is that the free equip? Yeah, Shuko doesn't really do anything, right? Like, so Venerated Rotpriest only triggers when it becomes the target of a spell. So unfortunately, you can't do... Shuko's like a cute, like, Cephalid breakfast trick, where the Cephalid trigger whenever it's targeted by a spell or ability, so you can just keep equipping back and forth. Wizards apparently didn't want us doing that in Modern. They made it so Rotpriest only works specifically with spells, not abilities. And opponent, whoa. And opponent scoops it up. And that's a win. And wow. Not bad. Not bad. A reminder, if you need some cards, you can get them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. 2-year standard was a risk of getting stale regularly, amplified by 3 years. A fix, as usual, to shake things up is bans which counteract the concerns of people losing their collections. A playable for longer, lose. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the concerns, I would say. Would you consider Ivy Gleeful Spell Thief in this list? I mean, Ivy's cool, and it works well with the doubling aspect, although I think, essentially, Spellskite is our Ivy. It kind of does the same thing, except it does it even better, because Ivy only triggers once, and Spellskite has the upside that you can use it multiple times in a turn. So I think because Ivy would make us go into another color, and because Spellskite essentially serves the same purpose and doesn't make us go into another color, I don't think it's really worth it for Modern. Just because of that. Spellskite's like our Ivy, essentially. The modern Ivy that doesn't make us actually use blue mana. So what are y'all building from the Lord of the Rings decks? Are you building commander decks? I'm working on a Modern video, and there are some good Modern cards. I think we're gonna have at least a handful of cool Modern decks to try building around these cards. There's nothing, and this is probably good. There's no Ragavans. There's nothing that I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna break Modern, or anything that I'm like, oh my god, this is necessarily even gonna be like super duper tip top tier in Modern. But there is stuff that's gonna be worth trying in Modern. Scurryoak, yep, the Scurryoak combo with Rosie Cotton is a big one. There's a bunch of Samwise combos, Samwise Cauldron Familiar, Samwise with Lannis in Academy Manufacturer. Like Arwen, I think it was Reed Duke that had an article talking about Arwen in like Heliad Walking Ballista combo seems good. Plus then you just get like against the odds, like Gandalf to the legendary Panharmonicon, some sort of Gandalf Elishnorn. Like Gandalf, the problem with Gandalf is it doesn't have the protection Elishnorn does. Like, one of the reasons Elishnorn kind of works in Modern is it shuts down your opponent. Gandalf loses that aspect, but still. I actually think if someone breaks the ring tempts you, I think something like Dreadhorde Arcanist is the most obvious way. Like, or a cheap Master of Cruelties, like low power creatures that need to attack, low power creatures that need to deal combat damage. Then you just like ring tempt you once, make your Arcanist or whatever, almost unblockable, just go. So I think that might be the easiest way. Although I really want to win with Frodo. I want to see the Frodo win. The like level it up, get tempted 4 times, actually just make someone lose the game with it. The new Tree Folk Commander looks really fun. I'm excited for some Tree Folk action. Plus, I watch. Oh, chat! I forgot to mention this. As a Lord of the Rings expert, I figured I need to watch the third movie. Seriously now, what's up with the ghost people? That's where they lost me. I made it through movie 1, lots of walking. Made it through movie 2, a little bit more walking, some battling. Movie 3, a lot of battling. I sit through two and a half hours. I'm like, what's gonna happen? It's looking grim. It's looking grim. Frodo, he's struggling. Gollum, is going wild, trying to keep him from getting rid of the ring. He gets rid of Sam. It's the darkest. It's the darkest time. The good forces are going to the Black Gate, and it looks like they have no chance, and they're like, we'll go get the ghost people. We'll go get the ghost people. That's what you keep up with, Tolkien, is we're gonna go get some ghost people. That's gonna solve all the world's problems. It was like, seriously, that I could suspend my disbelief for trees walking around, for this huge floating eye, for a ring making people invisible, but once the ghost people saved the day, I was like, come on now. Come on now, Tolkien. You could do better than that, buddy. It really was, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that part just, through all the fantasy aspects of it, that was the one part that came across as silly to me. And it was the climactic ending of the whole thing, and I was like, okay, that's just kind of silly. What are we putting at the bottom? We're going to time out Trade to Mulligan here, talking about Lord of the Rings. Someone sent me, as I've been talking about Lord of the Rings recently, someone sent me the Clerks clip on Twitter. So I've never watched the whole movie of Clerks 2, but I've seen that clip. The Eagles, the ghost people, yeah, the movie didn't do a good job. Yeah, I mean, and it might be a lot better in the books. Maybe in the books, it makes a lot of sense and you can see it coming. But to me, it did kind of feel like, it just kind of felt cheap. It kind of felt like, okay, you set up this impossible situation where the good guys just don't have any chance of winning. And then the solution you presented to that problem was just so absurd and out of the blue. It was honestly, it was WotC storytelling. One of the criticisms of WotC storytelling, March of the Machines, everything's looking bad. Then all of a sudden, everyone's healed. No one's sick anymore. We're good. Out of the blue, something happened and everything's fine. Like a sitcom ending or something. So maybe in the books that actually doesn't come across like that. Maybe that was more of a movie thing where they could have foreshadowed it more or something. Is The Hobbit's actually worth watching? I noticed that too. That was recommended after I watched the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings. That was next up was the Hobbit trilogy or whatever. Are they pretty bad? I mean, So I will say Lord of the Rings is probably not as bad as I remembered it to be. I did enjoy parts of it. Parts of it were pretty good. There were some good battles. The story overall was it was not bad. The story overall was pretty decent. So there was a lot of stuff that I actually kind of liked about it. Boy, if we could ever somehow, I mean, I guess we just traverse for a land. Well, man, this stuff's going away anyway. So we might as well fill the graveyard. Grab a forest. We're getting dredged, though. Just a bit of dredging. Lord of the Rings movies were close to the book. The Hobbit should have been one movie. Well, I kind of felt that about Lord of the Rings, honestly. They were good so it's something kind of for fans. If you're someone who really loved Lord of the Rings, then The Hobbit, gives you... So it's probably not really for me, then. Lord of the Rings probably not as bad as I memed on it to be. Or as bad as I remembered it to be. But I wouldn't rank it above, my favorite movies or anything now that I rewatched it. Yeah, I heard people didn't like the Amazon series either. Aragorn swooping in. So Aragorn swooping in to save the day made sense to me. He's the returning king. Of course, I figured once I realized he was a king or whatever, I kind of assumed he was gonna save the day. That made sense. But the ghost people, couldn't he have, like, I don't know, got some hobbits, went to the Shire and got a bunch of that would have been an ending. If instead of ghost people coming out of nowhere and defeating the army of darkness, if you got a bunch of hobbits and they just went to town, that's an ending worthy of a movie. Yeah, there was also eagles out of nowhere, which that was also weird. That's like the big Nazguls are like taking over, and oh no, what are we gonna do? And Gandalf's looking all freaked out, and it's just like, hey, eagles, and apparently eagles beat Nazguls. Who knew? Okay, that's a cool random thing that have happened. Oh, all right. Well, let's do a little mutagenic growth thing. We really would like to turn these on. All right, land in the graveyard. And now creature artifact. Oh no. Oh, wait. How can we win? How can we win? Do we have to keep... Huh. So these are going to be 3/3s. We can only mutagenic growth, what? Twice? So that's 10 damage? Do we have to keep Rotpriest? Is there any way we can win with Rotpriest? If we keep Rotpriest, we do lose our DRC. Also, here, if you've read the books, how did Gollum / Smeagol survive? That was something I also didn't exactly understand. Like, you see in the movie, you see Smeagol / Gollum, whatever, like, falling off this massive, like, mountain, like, thousands and thousands of feet. When he was fighting with, like, Sam and whatnot, there was, like, the big fight, and then he, like, falls off the mountain, like, thousands of feet, and then it's, like, at the end of the movie, they're about to throw the thing in the volcano, and, like, he's back. He, like, survived the 1,000-foot fall or something. That part also. Oh, he's like immortal. Oh, see, I thought he was immortal because, yeah, the step part. Like, how did he survive the fall off the steps? How do we survive this turn? I mean, I guess we can Manamorphose. There's not really any reason not to Manamorphose, I don't think. Can we even... Is there any chance we're here next turn is the question. One Creeping Chill gets us, and they got a Ox of Agonis. I think we're probably just dead here. Well, let's Manamorphose. Yeah. Oh, another Rotpriest. All right. I mean, if somehow we could survive... So green and red. So we draw a Rotpriest. We play a Rotpriest. Underworld Breach needs so much mana. So we can get 3 poison counters, but that doesn't really do anything. Alright, go attacking. This deck actually seems hard to combo. It seems hard to combo with. I'm actually like, the more we play it, the more I'm like, boy, it's not actually that easy to go off with. There's always like a pinch somewhere. Not enough mana. You really need Rotpriest, and then you need to just YOLO untap with Rotpriest. And then you just, oh god, 2 Creeping Chills. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, Dredge. You need a lot to go. You need a lot to go well. Isn't Double Ground Rift lethal? I mean, if we could get 2 Rotpriests, we could probably do it. But there wasn't enough mana to get two Rotpriests and have mana left over to do anything. Like over the course of a few turns, but we unfortunately didn't have a few turns, and we also unfortunately do not have Graveyard Hate. So we just have to straight up race. We gotta race. Can we race Dredge? So so how does this deck win? We need to have a Rotpriest. That's like pretty much, we haven't won any without Rotpriest, have we? I guess we won a game against Hammer Time without Rotpriest where we had 2 DRCs, but you really need Rotpriest. And then you really need either two Rotpriests or a Spellskite to double up the counters. And then you need some sort of like combination of pump spells and storm spells. Yeah, it really does. It needs the early Rotpriest and it needs it to stick. I will say I'm like a little bit off the Dreadhorde Arcanist plan. Arcanist has not impressed me. I guess the idea is that's another way to double up your spells. Like you get down a couple Rotpriests and you like cast one of the storm spells like Ground Rift and then you Dreadhorde Arcanist it back. But it really kind of just dies. I don't think we've gotten in a single attack with an Arcanist. It just every time it just gets killed. All right, how about a Rotpriest in our opening hand? Dredge doesn't have much removal. So these are the hands that's like, this looks like an okay hand. We got a Dragon Rage Channeler. We got an Arcanist. But there's no Rotpriest, and these hands just haven't been able to do it. I think we just have to like, okay, there's a Rotpriest. Let's see if, now this hand might be able to do it. We got a Rotpriest. We have a Ground Rift. We do have to put something to the bottom, which is kind of unfortunate. So if we turn one Rotpriest, turn to Dragon Rage Channeler, Bobble, Ground Rift. Yeah, I guess we gotta put Breach to the bottom. All right, don't kill. Please don't kill. Please don't kill our Rotpriest. Oh no, opponent's starting with some free mana. Okay, that's sketchy. Penthouse, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much. Wow, opponent's going off on turn 0 here with some Dredge. Thank you for your subscription. Big super chat, thank you. Thank you. Drop a land? Oh, we can't drop a land. Without the land, we don't really get to do anything, do we? I think we gotta have 2 lands. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh, you got us. Okay. Well, that was oh, yeah, that was actually our turn, wasn't it? Okay. I'm not used to opponents casting spells on my first turn. Not even a little. So yeah, that's awkward. All right. Play Dragon Rage Channeler to get Dark Blasted into oblivion. About it. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a punt from not paying enough attention. Also, just like, I can count out of the thousands and thousands of games of Magic I've played, the number of times someone has cast a spell on your turn on turn 0, like, maybe like twice. That is just not something that happens in practice. Oh God. All right, opponent's going off. Maybe that's why they play it. Like, there's really no practical purpose to casting a spell on your opponent's upkeep off a Gemstone Cavern. Maybe the theory is that it gives you a chance to get your opponent to skip their turn. That might actually be the theory here. Well, play the land, crack the land. Grab a forest. Ugh, we're down to 14. DRC. Arcanist never going to do anything. Get rid of that. So, like, Ground Rift, like, doesn't even do anything, right? So you got to have 2 Rotpriests? So does this deck actually need 2 Rotpriests to win? Like, even this scenario, like, we cast a Ground Rift, and it does nothing. It's like 3 poison counters. And that's just not gonna do it. So I guess we have to pass. Hope somehow we survive, which is seeming less likely against these prized amalgams. So we have to pass, hope somehow we survive. Somehow get a second Rotpriest. If we get a second Rotpriest, I mean, Dredge with no graveyard hate's a tough. That's going to be a tough road no matter what. Yeah, I feel like this deck is actually just, like, really not competitive. It's cool. Like, it's cool when it works, but I feel like we're playing it against the odds deck. Like, this does not feel to me like a deck that is actually an especially competitive deck in the format. Well, I mean, I guess we got to block with, I don't even know, block with the Dragon Rage channel, or we're going to die if we don't. Hey, what's up, Gordy? So, how are you? Good to see you, good to see you. All right, so we need some sort of wild miracle to happen here. About it. Oh, our opponent's just going to win somehow. Oxyvagonus. Yeah, so gonna do a bunch of dredging. And do a bunch of dredging. And do a bunch of dredging. All right, so we just gotta win the game. Easy. Easy breezy. Well, crack the bobble. Opponent gonna draw Mana Confluence. So I guess we just have to draw. If we draw a Rotpriest, can we win? I think we need to, like, draw a Rotpriest. Draw a Rotpriest and draw... How do we draw multiple things? Draw a Rotpriest, draw something to target it. Another Ground Rift. We draw a Bobble. So, yeah... So we'd have to cast Ground Rift to get a sorcery in the graveyard to traverse, and then, yeah, we're just dead. Whew! Oh, this deck. If we enable Delirium... I mean, we enable Delirium, it just eats all of our mana. We need to, like, enable Delirium for free somehow. Because we need... So we need a mana for Traverse, a mana for a Rotpriest. So that's 2 mana, and we only have 3 mana. And it's going to cost at least 1 mana to get a sorcery in the graveyard. Whew, this deck. Opponent. Yeah, one short of Delirium. Yeah, Arcanist has felt really bad. I feel this is a list someone 5-0'd with. Which I guess makes sense. Like, we certainly have seen the kills, when they come together, be spectacular. So I can imagine, just like the standard version, like, you get those hands. Dreadhorde has done quite literally nothing. I mean, this looks like the kind of hand that should win. Like, if this hand is not going to be good, then I think we just decide that this deck's not actually going to work and play something else. Like, if this hand doesn't do it, then this deck's just not going to do it, period. Yeah, the Pact might be good. I don't know if our opponent thought this one through. I can't say anything after we skipped our turn last game. So I can't say anything, but that was a classic turn 1 run out of bounce land, pick it back up, go. Opponent, Urza's Saga. Was that just a flex? Was that just them saying we know we're gonna win so much we can run out this bounce land and skip our turn? Maybe that was just a flex. Well, all right, Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Thin the deck. Grab a mountain. Play a Dragon Rage Channeler. Get in for one with the Rotpriest. I mean, if we draw a Rotpriest, we're super good. Otherwise, like, Spellskite? Spellskite, we're good. Spellskite would let us do it. So you really need 2 Rotpriests or Rotpriest plus Spellskite, I think. I think those are the... Ooh, another Saga. Those are the cards we really need. Opponent, Saga number 2. And... Come on! Spellskite. / Rotpriest / something. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright, play the land. Metamorphose. Go digging. Surveil. Definitely don't want another land. Red, green. Ooh, Ground Rift. Does that do it? Okay, so this gets in for 1. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Storm count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we just cast our hand, we should win, right? I think. So this attacks for 1. So opponent's at 2 poison. 3 poison, 4 poison. Oh no. Are we 1 short? Storm count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think we're 1 short. So play Arcanist. We're 1 short, right? I'm pretty sure we're 1 short. Go to combat, do some attacking. I mean, next turn we easily have it, unless our opponent can do something. 1 short, but okay anyway. I mean, I guess we could just put him to 9. Yeah, I mean, I guess putting our opponent to 9 makes sense, right? And then if they target any of our creatures, they die? No Noxious Revivals. Well, let's put him up to 9, I think. Well, definitely do not want more Arcanists. Don't even know if we want the first Arcanist, honestly. Alright, poison you. Do it again. Poison you. Still don't want the Arcanist. Keep putting him in the graveyards, Magic Gods. And then Ground Rift. Get some triggers. Poison you. So we put our opponent to 9. We don't really want Spellskite now. I think it's past the Spellskite part of the game. Trigger, 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 trigger. All right, opponent. I mean, you're at 9. You're 9 poison. Can you possibly get out of this with your board full of Urza Sagas? Go. About it. Deck would work well with Proliferate spell. What Proliferate spell would actually work? What would be the best Proliferate spell? Yeah, Dreadhorde. I mean, oh, no way. Oh, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. Watch, we're gonna lose. We are gonna lose. This not playing Rituals or Archaeomancers feels wrong. I mean, what rituals are there in Modern, though? There's not, like, Desperate Ritual or something? What would, like, a Desperate Ritual do to support the plan, though? Yeah, 2 amulets. I don't know if I've ever not lost when the opponent has 2 amulets. Escape to the Wilds. Well, okay, them hitting 5 lands probably increases our chances of living. That is about the worst escape I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, the question is, do we untap? Like, if we are not dead, then our odds of winning goes to pretty much 100%. But normally 2 amulets means you die right now. Golas. Uh-huh. Sure. Gets a land, untaps the land. It's pretty big turn. Oh, like build an Underworld Breach deck? Yeah, if you want to build a Breach Storm deck. Although I wonder, like, if you're going to try to go in on Breach, do you even want Rotpriest? Is it even worth trying to do Rotpriest stuff? Or would you be better off just just doing breach stuff. Like, are you, if you're going full in on Underworld Breach, is Venerated Rot just like hard mode of building a breach deck? Can you be competitive in Modern or Pioneer with zombies? Ish. Yes, ish. We've definitely had some and wow, opponent scoops it up. All right, we survived. We survived somehow, the double amulettes. So we've played some good zombie decks. There isn't really a tier version of zombies in either format. I think Pioneer has had zombies at various times, like perform well, get some 5-0s, like stuff like that. So I think it's closest in Pioneer. In Modern, there's some sacrifice decks that use some zombies, but they're really kind of like Goblin Bombardment, Carrion Feeder, sacrifice decks. So that's as close as we have to having like a true, or having a zombie deck. Although I don't know if I call it a true zombie deck. If you're thinking of like zombie tribal, then the sac decks are not super zombie-ish. Well, natural state. I mean, we got to deal with the amulets. We saw Golos. Maybe we want ancient grudges too? They shouldn't have very much interaction. We can trim a couple of Dreadhorde Arcanists. What someone mentioned Spikes list. What's Spikes list look like? What else can we cut? We haven't really. So I think one of the things with Breach in this deck is a little weird too, just because we don't have that much mana. Breach likes mana to be able to cast things, and it's hard to be in a position where you have enough mana to like really go off with Breach. I guess that's where like rituals could help, but we also don't really feel a graveyard. I don't know. It's just, I think the idea of Breach is like almost an eternal witness, where it's like, yeah, you ground rift and you don't really have lethal, so you Underworld Breach, recast ground rift. I don't think the deck's really trying to like go off, I would say, with Breach. I think it's more like hoping to recast like a spell, maybe. Like maybe you can get one spell back with Underworld Breach. Yeah, zombies do have a lot of lords. Sadly, they're mostly 3 mana. I think that I would say vampires are a more competitive tribe. Vampires were tier in Pioneer for a while. They haven't been tiers in the last like 6 months or so. But the big thing that vampires have that zombies don't is Sorin. And Sorin Imperious Bloodlord is like ridiculous. Like it is such a... It's not known as one of the strongest planeswalkers of all time just because it only works in vampire decks. All of its things specifically refer to vampires. But Sorin is like the reason to play a vampire deck. So we don't have any results here super recently with it, but there have certainly been. If we go to the advanced search and look it up, there have been very good vampire decks with Sorin. Sorin's ability to just put a vampire into play from your hand is very, very, very strong. So if we go back and look at tournaments over the last like year or so, so that's, I guess, probably where I'd point you is if you're looking to be competitive in one of those tribes, Pioneer Vampires is probably the best you're gonna get. You can also do some spicy stuff with New Galta. People try that, but this is kind of like a traditional, more or less a traditional looking Orzhov Sorin vampire deck. Like something like this, like play the good vampires, you get a couple lords like Edgar, a few tribal payoffs, and then Sorin just to like dump Champion of Dusk in your hand, draw a bunch of cards or whatever. So if you want to be competitive with one of those tribes, that's probably the best bet. Yeah, Galta's definitely super fun. Whoa, that hand has like a third of our lands in it somehow. Well, this hand's not good, but I don't think we want to go to 5. 5 is a little tough. Opponent. Urza. Oh, come on. Come on, natural state. Oh, they have the amulet too. Why does our opponent tap out? Must be a commander player. It's a commander trick. Well, alright, thin the deck. Wooded Foils, Crag Wooded Foils. Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Dragon Rage Channeler. Play a Bobble. Keep the natural state. Well, natural state is what we were looking for. That is a good one. That can blow up this land. Okay. So now we need the Rotpriest. Go loose. Well, that'll be a problem eventually. Opponent taking up the Urza Saga. All in Rotpriest. Oh, so it's basically this deck except it's playing not as many grape shots. And it's playing Summoner's Pact instead of Dreadhorde Arcanist. So I guess the Summoner's Pact, I guess, will help find the Rotpriests more often. Unfortunately, it only finds green creatures, so it can't get the Spellskiter. That would be sweet. So hopefully it finds the Rotpriest more often. I mean, I haven't been very impressed with Arcanist. I assume the idea of Arcanist is to let you play like a fairer game plan, but it's been so lacking as far as power, and it just dies all the time that probably not even worth it. Let's Abundant Harvest. Mill the land. Name non-land. Get in with the Dragon Rage Channeler. Blow up the Urza Saga. Yeah, I guess we keep it. All right, hit you for 3. Pass the turn. So we can get a Rotpriest next turn. We can get a Rotpriest. And we blow up our opponent's land. 1 mana Stone Rain. Ancient Stirrings. Putting land on the bottom, then shuffling doesn't really thin the deck. I mean, it sort of does, doesn't it? Is that not how math works? Does math not work that way? Oh, chat, I was going to ask you. Have you ever heard of eating dandelions? Is that a real thing? Someone was telling me that you can eat dandelions and it's supposed to be like super healthy. Has anyone else ever heard of that, or is that a troll? Am I being trolled about the possibility of eating dandelions? It's real? Okay, new question. Has anyone actually ate a dandelion? So it's a real thing. Have you ever done it? Is it super gross? Heard of it, but hard pass on trying it. Yeah, it doesn't sound that appealing. Super bitter? I could see that. Can make tea, so the tea would maybe be good. I could see the tea being decent. Wouldn't be surprised at the things people eat. Yeah, people are creative with their eating, except for me. I'm not. A YouTuber made a BLT with dandelion greens instead of lettuce. It's probably actually healthy. You can technically eat anything. Yeah, you just gotta try hard enough. When there's a will, there's a way to eat it. So should I try dandelions? Is that an actual thing I should try? Like, is that a ridiculous idea to try eating a dandelion? Do you just go and like pick them out of the yard and eat them? Like, just go and find one and chomp it? The tea sounds more appealing. I don't even like tea, but dandelion tea that's a good name. That would be a good be a pretty good band name for like some 60s band. Some Simon and Garfunkel type. Dandelion tea. Watch the bear pee off of him. Yeah, Bear's funny. Bear started doing his leg lifting thing when he pees now, which He never done, just in like the last week, he'll do the like lift the one leg to peon stuff. Now let's play Rotpriest and get in with a Dragon Rage Channeler. And next turn we're going for it. Next turn, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're close. Opponent taking up the Saga. Would you care to see my idea on Rotpriest? I'd love to see your Rotpriest idea. Ooh, ley lines. Let me see the ley lines too. Would you consider playing a league with 4-color rhinos, Omnathnis Scion deck? Copied a list from another streamer. It was so good last night. Ooh, so many sweet deck ideas. Let's see. Brokers, Defenders. All right, hang on. Let's see if we win this turn, and then we'll look at these deck lists. I've pulled them up. Natural State. So we don't quite win this turn, right? Actually, we do, because we can get a land. So, okay, Abundant Harvest. Surveil. Graveyard. Doesn't matter. Choose land. It's got to not be Copperline Gorge. If we hit Copperline Gorge, it ruins everything. Any other land, though, when we're good. This deck, I swear to God. I swear to God. Okay, Copperline. That is a Copperline Gorge. That was the one land we needed to not hit. Okay. So now what? Scoop? Scoop time? Yeah, I might have jinxed us there. So if we Ground Rift, it's 2 poison. Then the next one's 3 poison. So that's 5. Well, I mean, I guess we have to do... Okay. Natural State, the Urza Saga. The one that's about to get an Amulet. Grape Shot. Graveyard, I guess. And then Ground Rift. Oh, I wish we hit an untapped land. This would have been so much better. Poison you a bit. Trigger. Land of the Graveyard. Copy. Poison you. These are where Ground Rift feels so bad, where it's like, we hit you a little, but it doesn't really hit you for that much, and you're at 4 poison, but now we got a Copperline Gorge that doesn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, we do have to keep blowing up sagas, apparently. We have blown up a lot of lands. That part's been sweet. Opponent explores. And a bounce land. Picks up a land. Replays it. Problem is, this is going to get an Amulet next turn. Mutagenic Growth. Still not enough. Hit ya. So opponents hit 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I mean, I guess we got to pass and pray. Oh, that Copperline Gorge. Seth, I had 2 card... I had 2 cards to blow up my friends, turn 2 bounce land the other day in Commander. I've been playing Cleansing Wildfire as a safety valve that cantrips a lot of my decks. Best thing ever. That is a good option. I like Cleansing Wildfire. I think that's a good one. Opponent's probably just gonna combo off. Let's look at these deck lists. Is our opponent? Well, I guess we can't F6 fully. I always expect that we just die once it starts happening. Timeless Lotus, sure. Wow. This deck is so fizzly. Brokers, Golos. Goes digging. Gets a Mycosynth Gardens, untaps it. And passes. Come on, deck, don't fail us. Mutagenic Growth. I think Mutagenic Growth is enough here, right? Wait, Mutagenic Growth. The Dragon Rage Channeler. For life. Get a Trigger Poison, yeah. Mill the Dragon Rage Channeler. Opponent's up to 6. Mutagenic Growth. Dragon Rage Channeler. Poison ya. Up to 7. An opponent sees where this is headed and scoops. I mean, and I guess they were dying to normal combat damage there too. Well, that's a win. I mean, technically, we are 2-2 after all this and all the like ups and downs and back and forth. We can still get a treasure chest. The kids can still be eaten. Bear could still get a little snack. All right, let's look at these deck lists real quick before we go in the next round. Hyper Guy X's Broker's Defenders. Ooh, I like how much it is. Just over $100. Broker's Ascendancy is the kind of card that the kids might be eating. We might scrape out the classic 3-2. The classic 3-2. Broker's Ascendancy is the kind of card that I think's definitely gotten better. I've seen it a couple times in Standard recently, and without Invoke Despair, it can actually kind of go. Same theory as like the World Tree enchantment we played in Mono Green. Like, it might actually stick around now, and if it sticks around, Broker's Ascendancy can be legit scary, just like growing all your stuff at rapid pace. Using it to grow defenders is like kind of hilarious just because they can't even attack. So that's kind of a unique take, but I guess it's very good with the birds. Like making the birds huge is cool. So yeah, it's an interesting take, Hyper Guy X. What is your thinking with Broker's Ascendancy? I'm actually curious considering the defenders in general can attack. Like what's the thought process with using this to grow the creatures? Is it mostly for the bird tokens? Cool idea though. Shilling my balance list. All right, let me see. Deck list still coming. What do we got? Electro Balance. Ooh, a classic modern archetype for restore balances. Like who can say no to restore balances? I don't think I've played it since Sorin Orb's been around. I do love restore balance. That was one of the first ever budget Magic decks. That looks fun. Yeah, we got to play some more Restore Balance sometime, just because getting people to Restore Balance is the best. Rotpriest Rhino Breach. Ooh. Wait, what's the Rhino part? Oh, Rhinos. How are we Rhinoing? Just fairly? Are we just suspending Rhinos? That's spicy. I don't know if I've seen a modern deck with the plan being to just suspend Crashing Footfalls, but that's I mean, Rhinos is a very strong card. 2 4/4s for some low amount of mana, depending on how you cast it. Like, not gonna complain about that. Yeah, that's an interesting take. I would have never expected to see Crashing Footfalls in this deck. That definitely got me by surprise for sure. A couple of us asked about this. Have you seen the combo in Pioneer Explorer with Archfiend of Draws and Metamorphic Alteration? Yes! That's a combo that we're definitely gonna play at some point for sure. Like, I think wrong list. Rhino is supposed to be Arboreal Grazer. Oh, that makes sense. Are the sub alert broken? Ooh, they were working earlier. Have they stopped working? Oh no. Maybe. If they did, let me see. I can look back. I guess there was one a while ago. Penthouse, like a half hour ago. I might have missed that one. So if I missed it, my apologies to you. Gearhulk Surprise. So many deck lists. Gearhulk Surprise. Torrential Gearhulk. Refurbish. Ooh, Sublime Epiphany. Yes. I did a video like this. This is cool because this is like a Pioneer version. We did one in Historic where you can make so many Gearhulks. The more token copying spells we get, the better the deck gets. So yeah, there is actually a YouTube video of a Historic version of this. And once it goes off and you just make like a ridiculous amount of Torrential Gearhulks, it's pretty funny. Yeah, cool to see a Pioneer version. 5-color Rhino Elementals. Ooh. Yeah, what do you all think about decks like this? I always wonder when it comes to these 5-color piles with Omnath, do you feel like it's cool and unique because it's like doing things with Nissa, which is a new card? Or do you see it and you're like, it's just another Omnath pile. Nissa, like, I don't know, like it's not that interesting because I've seen, 5-color Omnath piles a bunch of times. I always wonder, like, when I'm thinking about doing these decks for content, doing them for a stream, doing them for a video, that's always what I get stuck on. Like, is it cool and unique and you want to see it because it's showing off a new card? Or do you see the Omnath and you're just like, oh, Omnath, I've seen this a million times before, we know what that does, like turning the channel type of thing. I never know how to handle decks like that. It looks fun and it looks cool, and it seems like it definitely takes advantage of Nissa, and it looks like it offers a lot of value for sure. So it looks like a really cool deck. Yeah, Omnath is one of those. There's certain cards that people see so much that they overshadow the rest of the deck, if that makes sense. We run into this like Standard recently. Like, I felt like you couldn't really play a card like Invoke Despair. Like, you could build a really cool deck that doesn't share any cards with a tier Invoke Despair deck, but as soon as you play the Invoke Despair, it becomes an Invoke Despair deck. And Invoke Despair is so just known and like hated that everyone's just like, whatever, it's Invoke Despair. So I try to avoid Invoke Despair altogether because, or yeah, like Atraxa, like here's this really cool, unique way of cheating a big creature into play. Like, we're using battles and like flipping the battle and getting a big creature, this, reanimation spell that people haven't really used before. But if it comes down to like, oh, I'm putting Atraxa into play, and people don't focus on here's the really cool stuff leading up to it. They're just like, oh, Atraxa, like, I've seen this. Of course, Atraxa is busted. Like, of course you made me die with this Atraxa. So yeah, it's always the challenge. But at the same time, like, if you have a really cool reanimation deck, how do you not play Atraxa? Because it's just like, that's what you should do if you're able to cheat a big creature into play. It seems silly to like do all the work of like cheating a creature into play and then put a Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever that card is like into play, or whatever the like not good option is. Oh, all right, can we get a 3/2? Get a treasure chest. Get the kids, the bears, a little snack. Xander is a spicy one, that's for sure. Is Atali still cool? Atali, I feel like, maybe it's just the hipster in me. When it comes to like music and stuff. When Atali was first printed, I figured it was going to be like more of a casual commander card, like the original Atali. So I was like one of my favorite cards to play at Standard for like the first week. But then when Atali became like all over the place and like Mono White was splashing it, it was in Pro Tour decks. Then all of a sudden I was like, I don't know, maybe this card isn't cool anymore. Maybe I need to go find another indie. What's the indie version of Atali? Maybe it's Xander. Maybe Xander is the like underground indie, like playing in their friend's basement version of Atali. Breeding Pool. So we got another non-Rotpriest hand, unfortunately, but we do have. Well, okay, even more lands, unfortunately. I was gonna say Abundant Harvest. Well, we're definitely naming non-land. And it's a mutagenic growth. Yeah, if I ever tried this deck again, I probably would try playing some sort of tutor for Rotpriest over the Arcanist. Arcanist is still haven't really got to see it do anything. Such a removal magnet. Old stick. I do like old stick fingers. Bonus Scalding Tarn passes. Oh, this looks like rhinos. Oh, God. Gonna ice our Copperline George. Ooh, Chromium. See, Chromium, that's some spice. That's some spice. Oh, no, even more lands. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. How is the new Arena Cube? Anyone played the most recent Cube run? All right, Opponent. Rhino away, friend. Rhino away. Opponent, pass it. Well, crack the wooded foils. Yeah, except it comes down after the Rotpriest. So it doesn't always catch it in time. And Opponent, gonna ice more lands. Well, better than getting Rhinoed. We would rather be iced, I think, given the choice. Yeah, play a forest. Run out the Arcanist. Pass the turn. Which was your Universes Beyond card? Didn't listen to the podcast, but I just looked at them all and I love the NBA Jam one. Hey, that was That was one of mine. Heating up and he's on fire. Yeah, that was one of that was one of mine. I thought it was a fun design. Plus, I really actually kind of want an NBA Jam Secret Lair drop. That's the kind of like 90s nostalgia from like growing up and playing like crappy Super Nintendo. Actually, I don't want to say crappy Super Nintendo games because NBA Jam's a sweet game. I used to love NBA Jam. What other basketball game can you just push people over? Like, that's how you would steal the ball. Just run around, push people over. He's on fire. Boom shakalaka. Just like everything about that game was so perfect. The catchphrases, the cheesiness of it. So yeah, I would like to see one of those. Any chance we can get a sneak peek of what you're playing on Commander Clash this week? This week is a unique theme for Commander Clash. So this season of Commander Clash is going to be a little different, I think. Krusty Beck. MTG Oldfish, I've been watching you for over a decade, and I can't thank you enough for all the smiles, laughs, and joy you brought me over the years. You're the best. Well, Krusty Beck, you're the best as far as I'm concerned. Thank you so much for the kind words. Like, seriously, that actually means a lot to me to know that it's making some people happy. So thank you, Krusty Beck. So this week's Commander Clash is one I'm actually really hyped about. So it's been recorded because we record the week ahead. Really happy with how it turned out, and it is I don't want to share you the deck list, but I'll give you a hint at the theme. So the theme is, with all this talk about AI, we wanted to see if we could make AI build decks for us, and the results are actually very interesting. And not only that, but the game ended up being really interesting as well. So this was so the theme was like trying to figure out how to make like ChatGPT or one of those AI programs, you could use whichever one you wanted, to actually build a functional legal commander deck for you. And then the thing you couldn't do would be to like be too specific and be like, oh, take out that card and replace it with something else, or like play 5 removal spells, play 20 creatures. Like you had to avoid being that specific about it. And yeah, it does. There is on ChatGPT a little bit of a timing gap where it's Fury 2. Jeez, we're getting rhinoed into oblivion. There is a little bit of a gap with it only learned on cards from the past. But in some ways, that actually made it better because we got to see some really cool cards that you wouldn't see before. So I think people like it. Oh my goodness, opponent storming off over there. Cast 100 spells. Fury goes away. Gets in for 10. Bounces our board. Well, this is an embarrassment. When this deck is not doing its thing, it is an embarrassment. Mishra's Bobble. That'll stop the rhinos. All right, Spellskite. Boom. Take that, opponent. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Boom. Take that, opponent. Mishra's Bobble. What are you drawing, opponent? Stomping Grounds tapped. Yeah, I guess we should wait. Pass the turn. I mean, I think we probably die here. We need a Miracle of Miracles. Bobble cracked. Oh, God. More. Oh, no. Just pumping the rhinos is bad. Opponent goes to combat. Although getting the information does help. Getting the information means we know that we have to block a rhino here or we lose. I don't know how we win from here. Okay, or they have Petty Thief number 3 in hand. Do you think Lord of the Rings should have had a Fury Grief tier card? What about Orcish Bowmasters? Orcish Bowmasters not good enough. Oh, we don't even have any hate for this deck either. This deck is all in on trying to be a combo deck, isn't it? It really tries to be a full-on Storm deck. I mean, I think Orcish Bowmaster is good. Honestly, I don't want more Furies and Griefs. I think that what I would like to see with Modern at this point is I would like to see more things legal. I think we're at that point. If you're going to put Modern Horizons in the format, and Ragavads and Furies and Griefs in the format, just put it all in the format. Turn Modern into the new Legacy. Commander Legends, make that legal. The Commander Precons, when they come out every set, make that legal. Like, the power level of Modern Horizons is so high, I don't think it's gonna hurt. And if it does hurt, then you can ban stuff. Like, that's so, make it legal. Free all those supplemental products. I think the ship is sailed. Don't do it for Pioneer. Don't do it for Pioneer. Have Pioneer be what Modern was. Like, have that be the place where there's no Modern Horizons. There's none of that stuff. And let Modern just, like, let it all go. Let it go. I would rather have Commander Precon cards to brew with each set, from the Commander decks, from whatever supplemental sets, than just, like, than not have that option and just see more like Ragavans and Furies and Griefs that are so strong. I would also like to see cards unbanned, but that's my version at this point. So I'm actually pretty happy with the power level of the Lord of the Rings set. That's 2 Rotpriests. I don't want the sets to be broken. I don't really want more Furies and Griefs. I wish we didn't get more Furies and Griefs in the first place. Because now we're stuck in this weird point where nothing looks that strong compared to Modern Horizons 2 cards, because that set just set the bar so high. But I would like to see more unbannings and just put all the supplemental products in there. At this point, I can't see the harm. Like, it's, what are you gonna do? Like, print a Ragavan? You already printed a Ragavan, so so what's the worst that can happen? To be honest, how many Ragavans, Furies, and Griefs have you seen in 5 matches today? Yeah, we haven't played against those decks today. Although, I mean, it's small sample size. I was recording a modern league earlier and played, I think, like 3 Ragavan decks in a row. So I think it's mostly a product of, well, I wish we had a land. With a land, this hand would be so good. I think it's a lot of product of just variance. Like, I think a lot of it's just, sometimes you hit them, sometimes you don't. But, like, statistically, you run into those cards frequently. This is a Fury deck. We did see a Fury this game. We haven't played against Ragavan this league, though, have we? I feel like we haven't seen a stupid monkey. Hey, what's up, Great Destroyer? How are you? Good to see you, good to see you. Land, please. Opponent going to ice our land. Well, that is awkward. Okay. Land? Oh, that is a land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I think we do it. Oh, if we didn't get tapped down, I think we would just win here. But all right, mutagenic growth. Burn ya, poison ya, pump it. Oh no, they stormed too. I forgot. They cast a spell. Oh, we win. We definitely win right here. We just win immediately because they upped our storm count. Yes, ground rift, storm count at 3, same targets, and well, this is why you play the deck. This is the upside. Like, this is just turn 3. Straight up, double Rotpriest, ground rift, high roll, run you over through the fire ice draw. So that's the upside. Like, yeah, there's some clunkiness, but you get this absurd power. Are you doing movie against Seth pronouncing a video for Lord of the Rings? Oh, maybe. I don't know if I'll actually. That was the best game we've had with this deck. We'll see if I actually get around to it. I think it would be funny. I definitely think some sort of pronunciation video could be funny. I don't know, like, is that something you really want? I think the hard part would be the going through all the, like, Lord of the Rings spoilers videos to find the mispronunciations. Like, that's whenever it comes to, like, compilation style content, that's always the challenge. Like, there's I would love to do, like, a video of just my best punts of all time, or worst punts of all time, or, like, worst mispronunciations that I've ever made. Like, stuff like that, I think would be really funny. The problem is always, how do I find them? Like, there's, like, 400 episodes of Against the Odds now. They're an hour long. Like, that's a lot of, that's like a month worth of just, like, straight watching Against the Odds. So how do I find, especially with stuff like mispronunciations, a lot of them are like, small. Like, you say a word wrong, so you really got to watch the whole thing to find him. So just got an MDG, and watching your videos has made it much easier to understand. Keep up the great content. Hey, welcome to Magic, down below, and I'm glad it's helpful. Yeah, the pump video would be hilarious. The pronunciation video would be too. drop a deuce, right? Is that not how you say it? Actually, I think that would be the way to do it, is like, get the community, assign everyone an episode of Against the Odds or an episode or whatever. Watch that one episode and just like mark down where the punts are, the mispronounce, like just timestamps or whatever. If you could crowdsource it like that, so you had 400 people watch one episode instead of me watch 400 episodes, that would actually work. Do you think MH1 or MH2 is a stronger set? MH2, not even close. No doubt about it. I don't think there's even a conversation to be had. Like, I think MH2 is just like clearly the stronger of the two sets. I would argue that I think MH1 might be the better set, although I don't even know if that's true. I know people like to complain about Modern Horizons too, and I complain about the Ragavans sometimes and the Furies. Like, really, everyone says that Modern Horizons 1 is a stronger set? Whoa. All right, let me... Now I gotta pull this up, because I'm very curious. I've never heard... I thought it was just like a known thing that MH2 was stronger, where there wasn't even like a conversation, but now maybe we gotta pull them up and look at them side by side. Now I'm kind of curious. How people would come to that conclusion. This hand is pretty sweet, except we don't actually have... We don't actually have a Rotpriest, unfortunately. We do have a DRC, though. I'm gonna have to pull them up. Wait, what does the rest of chat think? MH1 or MH2 for power level? I think the top end of MH2 is just so high. Like, the Furies and the Ragavans. MH1, so MH1 you have... Isn't Lord of the Rings just MH3? Apparently not. There was some... Oh, they're going to tap down our land again. Ooh, stop firing us, opponent. I have the ice every time somehow. Well, okay, so I think... This feels bad, but I think we have to mutagenic growth because we need to hit... Alright, there's a land. Put it on top. Play the forest. Get in, hit you for 3. Traverse. Mill a ground rift. Grab the mountain for next turn past the turn. Come on, Rotpriest. After this game, we'll look at it. I think it's clearly MH2, though. So the Lord of the Rings set, when it was first announced, there was some speculation that it was going to potentially be like a Modern Horizon set. It clearly... And Wizards even said that recently, that... It's not supposed to be a Modern Horizon set. It's a Lord of the Rings set. It's a Commander focus set with some modern cards in it. But it's Modern Horizon sets are, most of the cards are, or many of the cards are for Modern. The Lord of the Rings set, I think most of the cards are for flavor / Commander, and then there's a few cards that are for Modern, that's fine. I don't think that's a... Yeah, this is tough. That's a lot of rhinos. That's a lot of rhinos for this deck. Well, I mean, I guess we just play Arcanist and hope for some sort of weird miracle to happen. But 10 power turn 3 on the play that's a lot for this deck. We don't have answers for it because it's like so combo-y. It's not like we have some way to kill a rhino or whatever. We just hope that we win through them. Weakest set of the last decade. Ixalan? I think Ixalan. Or Ixalan block. What was what was the Rivals of Ixalan? Might be even worse than actual Ixalan. But do you think that Boromir could be big in Modern? So Boromir is on my list of Modern playable cards. I've been working on a video that's going to be coming out sometime in the next week or so. But of the best Modern cards from the set, Boromir is on it. I don't think Boromir is like a 4-of metagame changer, but I think that Boromir is in the conversation to be like a card in Human Tribal in specific. The question is, so there's Lavinia, which has a similar mechanic for hating on... has a similar mechanic for hating on a... Yeah, this isn't going to work. Similar mechanic for hating on no mana value spells, except it only costs 2 mana. So the question's going to be, does adding one more... Boy, if we had one more land, I think we might get... Actually, Oh, they're going to have interaction, aren't they? Well, let's Traverse. Surveil. This could finally breed Dreadhorde Arcanist time to shine, but that's going to require our opponent not to have interaction of any kind. Rotpriest. Hold. So we can Ground Rift. Dreadhorde the Ground Rift. Is there any way... Oh, that's going to leave us short anyway, isn't it? Even after all that. Wow, I think it leaves us short. Yeah, it leaves us just short. Oh! If we had one more land so we could cast the other Ground Rift in our hand, I think that would have been enough. Or if we could have got the Spellskite down. Maybe finding a way. Yeah, they probably have... Oh, they have a Stomp anyway. Yeah. Well, that does do it, unfortunately. Boom. Not blocking us rhinos. Oh. Yeah, maybe a ritual could work in this deck, because it does feel like there's so many turns. This deck's just weird. It's just weird. You don't want a lot of lands because flooding out is like brutal and vicious and you can't afford it. But then you also need enough lands that you can like do multiple things in the same turn, which is tough to do if you're not playing any lands. There's a lot of competing demands pulling the deck in different directions, I think. There's a lot. I mean, I don't want to say the deck's... I wouldn't say the deck's bad. I think saying the deck's bad's a little silly. I think the deck is... I mean, I don't think it's, like, super competitive. I think it really does remind me of the standard Rotpriest deck. Like, it really reminds me of standard Rotpriest. It reminds me the same exact thing. Like, is the standard Rotpriest deck bad? Like, I guess in some ways, like if you just look at its overall win percentage, I don't think it's like that good overall, like compared to like the best decks in the format. On the other hand, the deck can have truly unbeatable draws. And I'm sure there was some times along the way where we could have played it better. Like it's one of those decks where you have all these like really small margins for error where you're trying to like eke out every storm count, eke out every poison counter. So getting the wrong land. There was early in our stream, there was the turn where we like our opponent ghost quartered us and we took a mountain so we'd have both colors of mana instead of a forest to leave up a Tameo safekeeping. And that ended up mattering. Like, I don't even know if that was the wrong call at the time in the context of the game. But because we got the mountain instead of the forest, our opponent was able to, like, use a removal spell and get around our Tameo safekeeping. So you get all these, like, really small, little, tiny things that end up mattering. I will say with this deck, I was not impressed with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Like, to me, I know what it's trying to do. I get what it's trying to do. We almost saw it in that last turn where it's like, you combo off and you don't quite get there, and then you Arcanist and you flash back the Ground Rift. I think the biggest issue we had was not being able to find Venerated Rotpriest often enough. That was like, that was it. That was the big one. Like, without Rotpriest, I think we won a single game. We had one game where we managed to like piece it together with Dragon Rage Channeler, but we need the Rotpriest, and really, we need two Rotpriests. We don't just need one, we need two. So I think any way to find more Rotpriests would be good in the deck. Traverse I actually found to be like kind of medium. I think that maybe like, maybe there's a better way to do it. Like, how can we... There's got to be another way we can do this. The Green Pact makes sense. I could see... that being a good option. Traverse Uvenwall, I think, was like kind of mid. There were times when it was good, but it's actually like... not guaranteed. We don't have any real mill stuff. We have Dragon Rage Channeler, but it's not like we have that much mill stuff. So actually being able to turn it on was kind of an issue, where there were times when it's like, boy, if we could just have Delirium, this would be really good, but we can't get Delirium. So I think that's what we need the most, is just like more ways and more consistent ways to actually find Rotpriest. So maybe the Green Pact is like the way to go. That might be, maybe Summoner's Pact is just the best option. It's also a free spell, so we can always just cast it to trigger Dragon Rage or whatever. So maybe that's the option. The March, the only problem with Green March is you need the first Rotpriest. So maybe if you have Summoner's Pact... Why can I not find this card? Does this card not actually exist? Was it all a fever dream? All right. So if you had, okay, let's say we had Summoner's Pact over the Arcanist. That makes sense. And then if you have Summoner's Pact, then maybe you can go Green March. The problem with Green March is it is only good if you already have the first Rotpriest and you have a green card in hand. But if we have Summoner's Pact to get it more consistently, then maybe you can also play the Green March. Maybe you can like trim down like a Grape Shot or something. But maybe something like this, somewhere in this neighborhood. So I think that's the biggest solution. 4-pack 2 Goblin and Archomancer. Is Goblin and Archomancer worth it? The problem with Anarchomancer, what does it actually reduce the cost from in our deck? Like, it only reduces color. Wait, let me see. Does it reduce colored mana symbols? One colorless less to cast. So really, unless we're going to rebuild it, like, what does it actually save us mana on? So I guess it saves us mana on, in the current build that we're talking about, these cards? I don't know if that's enough. Like, because so many of our cards only cost 1 mana, or are artifacts and doesn't do anything, I like the idea of what Anarchomancer could do. I'm just not sure it actually works with what we currently have. Like, we don't actually have enough stuff that it would reduce the cost on. Yeah, you can certainly... Why not put Ivy in it? So I think Spellskite's just better Ivy. Like, Spellskite does what Ivy does, where if you target your Rotpriest, you can also target the Spellskite. Except it also has the upside, since it's an activated ability, which we saw, one of our coolest games with this deck was the one where we had the 2 Spellskites, and we just bounced them back and forth between the Spellskites to, like, get all 10 poison counters with 1 spell. That's something that Spellskite can do that Ivy can't do. So I think because Spellskite does what Ivy does, except it even does more than what Ivy does, and Ivy would make us go into a 3rd color, I don't think we really would need it. Like, Ivy would be fine with the theme of the deck, but Spellskite just basically serves that same purpose. But also better. Yeah, I mean, I think once you start adding Summoner's Packs, then it makes sense to think, is there any one of green creatures I can tutor up that would be worth considering? So maybe like something like Wild Canter could be a one of, like, I need an extra mana, that's something I can like tutor up, or just I need to up my storm count, that's something I could tutor up. Definitely an interesting option though. So the deck, I think, I would say really explosive, but not currently consistent enough. Also, someone mentioned Infect, and I think that Rotpriest is a fine option to just play in an Infect deck. So that would be a very different build though. That's different colors, not many shared spells or anything. But you can also just like play an Infect and play a bunch of Blossoming Defense types cards and try to do it that way. As far as the Modern Horizons thing, we got to talk about this before the stream ends because I'm very curious. Is there any world where Modern Horizons 1 is stronger than Modern Horizons 2? So the best cards in Modern Horizons 1, Ren and 6, Force and Negation, for 60 card formats. Obviously there's, whatever, a new Sliver Commander or something is cool for Commander. But Ren and 6, the Force cycle, Force and Negation, Force of Vigor in specific, Seasoned Pyromancer, Urza, Yawgmoth, very good. And then I guess Giver of Runes has had a big impact. Archmage's Charm, that's where you start to get to the yes, it's very good, but it doesn't see that much play because it's triple blue. Hogak before it got banned. Yep, that's a big one. Astrolabe before it got banned. And then there were times when, there were metas where Collector Roof saw a lot of play. Like, right after MH1 came out, Collector Roof was kind of a hot card. It's not currently, but it was then. Icefang Quaddle's a good card. Footfall's a good card. Ephemerate has seen play. On Thin Ice has seen play. So Modern Horizons 1 is a good set. It is a good set. The point is they had to ban Hogak in Astral Blade. So Hogak was broken. That's for sure. Power level wise though, so Hogak was a broken card that led to a broken deck, so there's no argument there. Astrolabe, I think that they've just stopped caring or something. Astrolabe, yes, led to 5-color piles that were really good, but I feel like Wizard Standard has just changed because I don't know, don't we have a bunch of 5-color piles that are really good and now they just don't ban them? So I feel like maybe the standard was different or they cared more about modern at the time or something. But if you look at MH2, Ragavan, the Invoke Elementals, Urza Saga, I would argue, so discounting Hogak, which just was super broken in a specific deck, I think if you took the top 10 cards from MH2, I think they're just pretty far ahead of the top 10 cards from MH1. I think it's, so if you have Ren, the Force cycle, Seasoned Pyromancer, Urza, and whatever, choose another couple more or whatever ones you feel deserve to be on the bottom of the list. So if you put that up against Ragavan, the Invoke Elemental cycle, Urza Saga, Esper Sentinel, Murktide, and then you also have a lot of depth too. I guess MH1 has a decent amount of depth. But so does MH2 with Voidwalker has seen a lot of play. Grist is a staple in some decks. Calder Complete sees play. Sarah Emissary saw some play, although it doesn't anymore. Ignoble Hierarch, Dress Down, I don't know. Maybe it's closer than it looks, but I would go with MH2, I would say. I think I would go with MH2. Hogak is the best card in both sets, but MH2 has more powerful cards overall. Yeah, that's probably a fair way to put it. Or Hogak led to the most busted deck, for sure. Yeah. Wizards just missed on that card. Wizards just straight up missed. I think they even said they thought Hogak was a commander card. They designed it to be a cool commander card, and I don't even think they really, I don't want to say they didn't test it, but it sounded like, from how they described it, we made this to be a unique commander card, and we didn't really, consider it to be a modern card. So I think that might be part of it, is, they just, they didn't even bother to really, think through what Hogak might be able to do, because the combination of Convoke and Convoke and Delve is ridiculous. That just combination is so good. I think a better way to look at is the two sets is by MTGO prices and not physical prices. Ooh, I didn't actually look at the prices. Is there a big, so the only thing I'd say about prices, I guess they're actually kind of similar. $534 in paper, $594 in paper, 233 on Moto, 132 on Moto. And it's like not necessarily an apples to apples comparison because on Moto, how recently has it been draftable? What's in treasure chests? In paper, the longer it goes without reprints, the more expensive cards be. So, first Modern Horizons a couple years older. So you got like sort of Truth and Justice is not a super staple-y card, but it's just been around for a while. Like creeping up in price, so now it's $40. When if you look at the Sword of like Hearth and Home, Sword of Hearth and Home is a better card. It is a more playable card as far as Commander is concerned, but it is super cheap because it's still in print. It's a quarter of the price of the much less played and overall I would argue less powerful Truth and Justice, just because of the fact that it's newer and hasn't been reprinted. So imagine Hagek with the new Convoke deck. Yeah, Hagek. Whenever someone says Hagek can come back, I just shake my head like, no, please. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, on that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. Oh, also reminder, so Thursday, no stream on Thursday because I'm going to be in Baltimore for the Command Fest. So if you happen to be in Baltimore for the Command Fest, definitely stop by, say hello. I'd love to meet everyone, get in a game. So next stream on next Tuesday. In the meantime, check out the replay YouTube, check out the normal YouTube. Tons of content going up on there, getting stuff recorded ahead of time before I leave. And one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome and spectacular, and I love y'all. I hope you have an amazing night. Have a great day, and yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday or in Baltimore if you're around. So until then, everyone, have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.